Hi, you're watching Camel Moon on YouTube. If you enjoy this cartoon, sign up for the Hail Salad comic merch campaign on Indiegogo, and you'll be notified of its launch. Thanks for watching.
Ethan Van Skyber. Ethan Van Skyber. Oh, hi.
You could edit out the part that I puked.
I want you and Malin when I'm in the bathtub, naked, covered in hot, soapy suds. I would invite Zach, but Zach would be no fun.
He's got more reason to leave any of us. Go on.
I'm laughing like my father.
How long do we have to endure this?
Hello, Cecil.
Hello.
Hello, Fregaboom.
What's happening?
Where is John Malin?
He did a morning show at like fucking 4 o'clock in the morning.
He's got this new thing, Malin in the morning.
Malin in the morning.
We're glad you're finally with us.
John Malin, how you doing tonight?
I'm great.
You would think with the amount of DNA I put in there that one of those socks would come alive.
I wonder where the little girl is who used to belong to this glove. Cecil, do you understand what you've done? You've gotten John Malin laid tonight.
Malin in the morning.
Lamb Chop took care of herself.
Was Sherry Lewis actually ever hot?
In the 1950s, she had a TV show that was in black and white.
You were not born in the 1950s.
I want a hand job from Sherry Lewis, bestiality, with the lamb chop puppet.
Yeah, I mean, I would take a hand job from her. I mean, she's got to be good at, her hand from working that puppet so many years. But I would bang lamb chop way before Sherry Lewis. It's probably tighter.
But I'm proud of both of you anyway. I think you put on a hell of a show.
I'm sorry to cut you off, John. I love you, John, but I'm way more important than you.
John already fell asleep.
Yesterday, I watched John fuck my wife. I told him to do it.
Is that like some gay beekeeper or some shit?
Doesn't seem that protective.
Yeah, when I'm wearing a pair of chaps around the house, I'm like, it's getting hot in here. I need a sarsaparilla.
Come on, you were looking up chained mail.
Preston, will you please wear a gimp suit and get repeatedly kicked in the balls on video by your wife?
Yeah, I was going to do a failure stream with him, and he wouldn't come on. So he's a cowardly cock.
Then we're going to go over the ins and outs of pegging.
I love it in the air. If you had a choice between the spoon, the hanger, or the belt, what did you like getting hit with the most? Be honest.
Hello. Apparently the video is choppy. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, it looks
a little
bad.
choppy.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, let's just end it
people
there.
have
Look,
seen it,
Cecil's right there to say hello to us.
Hello,
People have seen it. I just thought I would play it while some people came in.
Yeah, no, it's good. It is always a treat to see Camel Moon's videos. It's the most looked forward to part of the month for a lot of people.
Oh man, you guys need to get
How are
out
you boys doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing? My kids
we
used up
just
all the
left.
ice in the fridge, and so all I got is these giant ice cubes. They're like one fits into a glass.
Show that again.
Well,
They're trying to slow you down.
Yeah,
I have those. They're great.
yeah. it's a little much. It's a little much. But it's okay.
Yeah, like you want
Does the
some
job.
literally, you know that joke. Do you want some whiskey with your ice? That's literally
Yeah.
what's going on there.
It looks like I'm drinking way more than I am.
Long time no see, buddy.
Is this yesterday potato?
This is potato soup.
Okay. Okay, so you take the leftovers and you make soup for the next day.
Yeah, it's like it complements the salad.
Who's here? We've got Kodak Neutrals here. He says, "Hail the motherfucking salad." That's great.
Hail.
Mo Beaks is saying, it seems like only the day before yesterday that Michael used to start his streams on. Oh, come on, man. I did start that on time, didn't I?
You're like a minute off.
This isn't on time or late. This is all bonus. So.
Yeah, I don't usually stream today. This is usually my day off. But it's the end of the campaign, and it was like a full panel yesterday. So Camel Moon we didn't get to enjoy the full potato soup, as it were.
Yeah, yesterday was crazy.
Hail Todd's truth.
There was so much to deal with.
Yeah, especially when people come on and they're big chatters. You weren't there, Bandito, at the start, but man, some people, they come on and they just kind of take over the show.
It's true.
Talk and talk.
Yeah, and
it's
sometimes it's to a benefit.
Yeah, you got to. I don't know if I'm there yet. I'm like dropping down the hammer on people. Just like, this is my show.
I've had to do that a couple times.
I think
Mo Big is saying hail to you, Bandito.
Hail, Papa.
Saying hello, son.
Cheers.
Yotam Darkstar, hell guys, welcome back.
That guy's everywhere now. He just started watching these shows. Yotam.
Yeah.
Yotam Darkstar.
Back.
Yeah, and he's everywhere. I saw him in Frigga's stream, and I saw him, or was it Frigga? I can't remember, but I've seen him in a couple places.
I wish you could zoom in on avatars because I want to see. That's like a really fluffy cat. I'm presuming.
No,
it's like anti your cat. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Chenghis Khan says hi. So does Antoine Dennison. He says cheers all. Cheers, Antoine. Great to see you as always.
Cheers, Antoine.
I think he's saying he was gonna buy one of those super
ice cube
massive cubes. Yeah, it's I don't know, it kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
Well, you can't fit much drink into your glass after that, so you have to have the glass to go with it.
We're unraveling more deep lore. That's why he'd abandoned you as a child. He was out getting ice. He didn't go out for ciggies. He went out for ice, and it was just too much to carry home, so he just never went back.
That bastard.
How the fucking chat, says Crackhead Jeremy. How Crackhead Jeremy. How the panel too.
Look at all our regulars coming in here.
I know. And you guys too, Billy Jacobs.
Yeah.
We're
just rewatch the new one. Was it better the second time round, Billy? There's so many things going on in your cartoons, Camel, that you do kind of have to watch them 2 or 3 times to sort of see all the little things that you slide in there.
Yeah, because it's joke after joke after joke. So sometimes I think people laugh over the next joke. That was it's kind of a weird tangent, but that was a problem they had in the movie Ghostbusters. Because they had all these like deadpan lines, and then they didn't expect them to be as funny as they were, and they were like overshadowing the actual jokes. And then there were certain lines that people would like in the theater they were laughing over. They're like, "Well, that's not the joke. The joke was right after that, but they missed it." And that seems to be happening a lot with this cartoon. I'm just like, "Oh, that's great that you find that funny, but the real joke is like when Preston eats his poo, right? I mean, it's kind of funny, but the real joke is when he says Call of Duty. But by that point, people are laughing, so it doesn't even matter."
I love that impersonation.
Yeah, he did a good job.
It's so good. I'm not even going to try and do it. VIP.
Very good.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Oh my gosh. Can you change your name to that? Could you be Mike Oxwell now?
Which one of us?
I think I cut out.
I don't know who is. I was going to say, Bancroft, can you be Mike Oxmall? Can you change your name?
I can do that. Actually, Yeah. No, I'm not going to do that. My time is precious accordingly. So 1 minute late. I'm never going to live this down. Jam Crate says, "What's up, peeps?" Crackhead says, "Thank God you're streaming. Had to escape Cecil's."
Yeah,
it's not entertaining over there.
Boring.
They're talking about Anna's toe fungus or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they
allow us to be your refuge.
Well, welcome,
Yes.
refugees.
Yes.
Of Cecil
Refugees of Cecil.
Cecil G's.
I didn't even get to the toe fungus part, and I was just bored. But I knew it was coming because I had rewound. Oh, thank God you're on tonight, Michael.
Yeah. No, I mean we've got. It's only 1 day left after this. Oh, 2 days. 2 days on the Lucent. So I thought I'd better get my face out there. Gusto's back. Saying, "Hail Bancroft and gentlemen, hail right back at you, Gusto."
When's your next cartoon?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, actually, I don't even have any audio that I've like locked in. I've had some stuff, and they're all right. They've all been really good though. The last 3 cartoons. So, I want to. Well, I mean the I mean the audio. The audio.
No,
I'm stuff I was working with, the rant.
Yeah.
Well, they have been well received at least, but so when I want something, I want it to be. I'm looking for something both relevant and good. It's sometimes can be a little bit hard to find, but also as well, I did say when I put out the last one, I said I don't know if I'll be putting out a new one very soon, just because with the Lucent and everything, I really want to get through the bulk of the coloring on the book and everything. I've got 400 and I think it's close to 470 now. Backers.
Yeah, you have.
So I've got to kind of put them first, at least for
25,000.
now. Yeah. So I've got to kind of put them first, and but who knows if something comes along? If I hear something, at least I can kind of get started on cutting the audio down and sort of plotting out what jokes will be in it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so I'm not going to say there's any animation coming up right now, but it's just because this is that period of time.
See, I am in a different situation, whereas I'm still building the campaign. Actually, if you want to share my screen, I can show you what I did today.
Yep.
New things.
So I just built this one quick graphic.
4 days only. Caesar with chair. 3-inch lunch standee. Oh, so that's only going to be available during that time period? Is that what that says?
Yeah, that's the first 4 days of the campaign.
Yeah, right.
So that took a lot longer than I thought. I had to take a photo of them, and it had to be transparent, and then I had to cut it out and delete the white, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is a pain in the ass."
So you got to learn the photography tricks for shooting transparent things.
I actually have this box here. I don't know if you can see.
Yep.
It's gonna be really big.
Okay. So what you need to do is you need to get black on the side. Yeah.
Oh.
What?
So you put black on the sides. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say if you want to shoot like a glass or something. Put black on either side. That black will reflect onto the edges, and it will show the outline of the transparent.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. That's great. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've done some.
You needed that info like 12 hours ago.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been
where
there
were you then?
Painting things in Photoshop. Sorry, man. I was asleep. I passed out.
So
after that amazingly entertaining, fun, drunk night that we had, I stumbled inside, and I did what any drunk man will do. I ordered some Burger King. Although we call it Hungry Jack's here. It's not Burger King here. I don't know why it is, but it's that way.
Is it the same company?
And everything is the same.
Oh,
so it's the same. But apparently when they first came here, there was already a Hungry Jack's here. Just another restaurant or whatever. And that's since gone away. So they said, there was another Burger King here. So they said, well, we'll call ourselves Hungry Jack. And then they've since tried to bring it in line with the rest of the world, and it's bombed. People are like, I don't want to go to Burger King. I like my Hungry Jacks.
That's funny.
Everything is the same.
It's
just a weird situation. Felix Haas is here. He says, "Hail the chat."
Hail Felix
God,
Haas.
the chat is really busy tonight. I'm having trouble keeping up.
And we got some great faces in there. I saw Rosetta Allen is in there. That's awesome. Great
They're
to see
all
you.
refugees of Cecil.
Maybe.
Clearly.
We will take them all.
Is that who is it? Someone is obsessed there with like gross stuff. Is that Cecil or is that Anna?
That's Anna, I think.
Yeah, like with the pimple popping and everything. Yeah, let's not go.
That's not a pimple.
That's my head.
Okay, look, neutral. I think this one is for you, man. The new one is effing hilarious. We already said fucking already, so we don't have to watch that monetization. Speaking of monetization, look, I think I'm pretty much on track for early August.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I don't want to apply while I still have to strike the Rand C strike on the channel.
Right.
You have 4,000 hours?
4,000 hours, yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, I only have 1,500 hours.
Yeah, well, you don't really stream, do you?
No, I didn't know streaming counted, but also I only put out edited content. So
yeah, and it's actually, in the scheme of things, it's quite short. I was thinking, if these cartoons that I'm making, they like go viral, I can get those hours. No, not with a 2-minute cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to have thousands and thousands, like 50,000 views to hit where you need to with one cartoon. So it's a lot.
I'm
really likes the safe space guys.
I'm currently sitting at just over 300 hours.
Oh wow, okay. Did you notice that they wear the badges on their nipples?
I didn't. See, there you go. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, like if you see a closer one, like they have like a red chest. That's just a bare chest, and then they have badges on their nipples.
There's nothing right. There's nothing right with them. There's no way to win. There's no way to move forward. They just need to be shot and shoveled. That's the only. That is the only.
This chat is moving so fast. I can't do my normal thing where I interact with it. It's crazy. I don't know what to do here. Billy Jacobs asked, "How do you know it's Burger King?" I mean, it's the same thing. Crackhead Jeremy says, "My streams always get his hammered." Mo Big says, "Arj Barker has a good point. How good can the restaurant be if the owner is hungry?" There you go. Or skinny. All right, I'm going to have to move on from there. How the chat, thank you so much for everyone who's come in and said hello. Oh, Rosetta Allen's here too. Hey, Rosetta. Yeah, all right. Cool. Awesome. That's great. Yeah, I didn't know that we would have a big number of people in here, given that I don't usually stream today, but they've come out to see the man, the myth, the legend.
The potato.
The potato.
Has everyone in this chat signed up for House Salad?
We got 5 more emails yesterday, so we're only 45 away from 500.
Wow, that's awesome.
Well, let's do the first hurdle. Let's get you to what, 460?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'll double check. Let's see.
Everyone in there, 460. Come on, you can do it.
Oh, you know what? It's my problem. You know what? Because I forgot to say hello. So, hi, Comics Gate. Hey, Comics Gate, how are you? Hope you're having a good night.
Oh yeah, they're totally having a great night now.
Will Frega ever make a comeback? Yeah, he's gonna come back. I actually think he's gonna give birth to an egg that's gonna hatch and be the next character.
I can't imagine the life and death scenario in Hail Salad is very like cut and dry.
Well,
Well, Cecil's already chopped his own head off, and he's still there.
Twice when he blew his brains.
He shot himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I just imagine it's like the 6th through 7th level of hell. They just always just reincarnate and have to do the same thing over and over.
You have a subscribe star too. You can
I
get on
do.
Action
I'm
right
not really
now.
pushing it because it, eventually I'll probably start to monetize YouTube once that happens. It might be another year, but until then, yeah. I mean, there's there's not a lot of money in it. There's like $50-$60 in it, so
We all start somewhere.
yeah. I mean, it took 3 months to get past $15. So
there you go. There you go. And Hale's Salad, I mean, it's got a bright future ahead of it. So, I mean, it's not like any of the big players are going anywhere, and their books are just going to get bigger, and their channels are just going to get more entertaining. So, Hale's Salad is going to reap all the benefits of all of their work.
yeah, it's kind of weird, right? Because it is almost a derivative property, but it's also original at the same time.
Yeah.
And I mean, people like it, and that's really all that matters. And I would implore you to get in on the campaign, this first one, because like that Ethan standee or the sitting one, like I'm only going to offer it those 4 days. Like there's no other chance that I'm going to put it out there. So if you want to collect all that stuff, and then there's going to be more. There's going to be a Fragga standee, Bigfoot Blue, Donnie Cates, who else? Naked Ethan. Wanger with Ethan.
Naked Ethan have. You know what you could do? You could actually print the Wang and then just put like a sticker of that black thing over the top of it, so you can peel it off.
At your own discretion.
Well, I'm going to make it a pixelated one with Ethan sitting on it and playing the piano.
Okay,
that's cool too.
Yeah, and it'll be two. It'll be like I'll show you this one. This is the one with Anna, and it's actually 2 pieces. See that?
Wow, the design on these are amazing.
So
where'd you get the idea for this?
So cool.
I don't know. I was just like, I can't produce action figures, but I can do this. So,
this
so
is
that's
even
what
better.
Yeah, it'll be 2-sided, or it'll be doubled up.
These are like less like
Does he
I
have
think
the
they're
pie?
more wife friendly, to have on your shelf.
Yeah.
Some wives and girlfriends, they might not want action figures on the shelves in their house, even in quote unquote man caves. But these standees are much more friendly.
And you could put
I don't care.
I don't know. Having a naked Ethan on your shelf might not be friendly.
They'll have to be a little black square.
Yeah.
This is the top of a shampoo bottle.
Keepsake. But I mean, I think you could put them. I was on Narwhal show. He's like, "Oh, that'd be great on like a '90s computer." I was like, "Yeah, I can probably see that."
That's how you could market them. Get an old like gray big box.
Perfect.
Retro.
But I mean, and because the designs are playful enough, like if your kids want to play with them, as long as they don't watch the cartoon, it's not really an issue.
Johnny Rando says this kid's going places. Hail Salad.
Yes.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, and yeah, you're doing really cool stuff on this campaign. It's every time you talk about it, I just think I really do kind of have stars in my eyes for you that it's going to really take off. Tell us a little bit about all the other little stuff that you're doing with it.
Well, it's funny because I had even texted you today because like I had one campaign that for those of you who don't know didn't fulfill because Warner Brothers dropped the hammer on it. And so I'm still kind of figuring out the best way, sort of best methods, and just copying those who have done the best. And
they were shackles. Those guys. The fact.
Yeah, just before, do you mind talking about what we were talking about?
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kinda,
yeah. Okay. Well, let's put it out to the panel as well.
Yeah. So my
go
ahead. You could tell him.
This being his first campaign, he doesn't know what to set his stretch goals at. And I said I had stretch goals as well before my campaign started. I think I had 3, and I just put them there on the campaign page and let them sit there without any price on them.
Yeah.
And I waited a week and a half till I kind of figured out the momentum and the numbers, because like I said at the start, I mean, I was really wondering, am I going to get 100 backers on this thing? So imagine if I had to put up there and said, okay, 3K stretch goal on this thing. I did 3K like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That was completely out of the blue. Imagine if I'd done that previous because, I didn't know. And then on the flip side, you do see people list out, all their stretch goals beforehand,
And they never get to the first
some
one.
of them are like 15, 20K, and
Yeah.
they're sitting on $1,500 funded after a month.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's just the kind of.
And it almost makes it look like, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's like derogatory, but it's just kind of like,
well, no,
it's
a bit of a confidence. It doesn't build confidence. You can actually look at it as a bit of a failure. Like it has that sense to it, and
and you lose momentum.
If the campaign ends up succeeding, it can feel like a failure. So if you win the lottery and you lose, win $30 million, and then you piss away $29 million, and you're left with $1 million, you feel like a failure. But if someone gives you $1 million, you're a hero, But it's the same amount of money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. So my suggestion was, and this is just my opinion, it worked out for me, and I don't think it hurt me at all. Just like having them there, and I talked about them as well. I said, this is what I'm thinking of doing. It was something that we could talk about and get excited over and everything. But then I didn't actually put the monetary value on it until I was a bit more sure of the speed of things. And even then, I got caught. We were going to have a 20K stretch goal, and then Heels versus Babyface shared the campaign, and we just blew past that in the day. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Guys like Ethan and John, they have a better idea, sort of where they're going to be when they launch. So it he can talk numbers.
Well, I think one of the things you benefited from, Michael, was that you didn't have your expectations too high. So you didn't do a Sean Gordon Murphy and it was just like, we could make 500,000, maybe even $1 million. Who knows? And of course, now he's sitting somewhere around 200K or something like that.
Well, yeah, 200 grand is great.
Yeah, but it's like you said,
feels like a failure now because he mentioned 500,000 or $1 million.
Yeah,
200 grand is great to start off with.
What I'm getting at is, always set your first goal for what you need the minimum for, right? So like the first stretch
That's
goal.
a good point. Yeah.
Right. So whatever that minimum is, you'd never want to make it where you're losing money. And I mean, if you just want to put one stretch goal out there and then say, okay, I need to know now how the campaign, what the momentum is like and where to put these goals and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, Bancroft was still trying to figure out what to do for his next stretch goal because he ran out of, he undersold it to himself. Right. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I would say figure out what your cost is to make your first stretch goal, like in order to be able to mass produce it, and then set your first stretch goal for that. And then just, I don't know, I like the, let's set it as we go kind of thing. I like that about Bancroft's campaign.
Yeah, especially if it's your first campaign. And I have really high hopes for your campaign. I think everything I've seen from you is, not only does it look great, it feels fresh. I think everyone is really desperate at the moment for something that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I think it's like now is just the right time for this. So I do have high hopes. So I wouldn't be worried for you anyway if you set your stretch goal a bit high. But at the same time, who knows these things? I don't understand things. I see campaigns out there that I think look just phenomenal, and they're struggling.
Yeah.
So, and then I see other campaigns that it's just not my cup of tea, and they're really smacking it.
Yeah, they're killing it, right? Yeah. I think the first stretch goal I'm going to do at 10 grand because I'm pretty sure we can hit that, and then that is pretty much the amount that I need to make sure that I can fulfill everything.
Yeah.
And then that'll be the fourth sticker sheet for the Ashcan book. And that'll all be holographic stuff. So it's kind of a gimme, but at the same time, it is still an extra piece of merch that everybody gets for free. And then the next one will be the enamel pin, and the third one will be the naked Ethan standee. And then, I mean, who knows? I mean,
there you go. And you've got all this stuff, so you can actually put it on the campaign and show it off.
Yeah, I know. You're so far ahead of the game. It's like, I don't even know why we're going into the minutia of it. It's... even if you fumbled your way from here on out, you're still going to do well.
And when's it launching, did you say? July 4th?
No, I've changed it to the 9th because I think July 4th is just a little too I don't know. There's shit going on that day, and I'm
people doing
trepidatious.
Now I've just broken my train of thought. Here's a question from Ryan. Just going back to what we were saying earlier. If anyone would back Murphy's book Plot Holes if he declared for Comicsgate? I don't think I would, and I just think it just doesn't interest me.
You know what? He would need to first. You can't come out, start to fail, or you're not hit the goal that you want,
and then be like, "Hi, Comicsgate."
I'm CG. You know, when people get.
Oh, can you imagine?
I can't.
He would be staked
CG
out
anyway.
like that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily stronger than Murphy, but I can imagine people doing that for sure.
Yeah, I think Blue kind of shares the consensus of the panel here. We went through it. It didn't seem very interesting for me, but I mean, congratulations to him on making what should be a celebration, but now looks like a failure.
I just added. Sorry, guys. I woke up like a few minutes before we started, so sorry if I'm a little off kilter. But I just added a clarification to that. In that case of promoting Murphy's book, I'd be kind of limiting it to, "Hey, it exists."
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the other thing too is, I mean, can you actually imagine a book called Plot Holes on store shelves? I mean, I can't. I'd be like, "What is this?" You know, I mean, it would just be like funny. You'd be like, "I don't know." Wow, they ran out of ideas.
Well, somebody would come along and just be like, "That's so ironical," and then buy it.
Yeah, I mean, there's that possibility, I guess. And there's a lot of
Metals Movies, and Brewski says he has a long list of CG books he's got it back. Yeah, and mine it stretches all the way back. And you know, these are people that I've been following and interacting with and fans of for a long time. And I like Sean Gordon Murphy's art enough. I don't really like the look of the plot holes, but you know, I want to back all these guys. You know, and some of these guys are small guys. You know, I want to help them out as well. So I mean, they come first.
Well, I'm more
invested. with every week, it seems there's something new coming out that looks amazing, and that just gets added to the end of the list. And then sometimes I get drunk and I just go on a stream and someone jumps the list because I like them. That's what happened with Archie Bear yesterday. Like, did I back his book live on a stream? I think I remember doing that.
He stream seduced all of our backings.
That was 4 drinks in for sure.
That's funny. I was actually kind of annoyed because, you know, I signed off last night and I haven't met Art, and I've like been a fan of his for like years. And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know he was going to be on. I would have said hi. I would have said hi, Comicsgate."
What a fun guy too. I mean, what a great guy. I'm so happy with sort of like our circles of touched one another now.
Oh, he wants to have you on his show as well.
Yeah.
You had him Thursday night. Friday afternoon, I said something in his chat and he recognized my name, and he recalled being on your show, and he's like, "Oh, that Michael Bancroft guy, he's a great guy.
Yeah,
book looks great. Blah blah blah. I gotta have him on. You know, so set your clock for time zone differences.
It looks like one of the reasons why Murphy didn't make the lofty goals that he projected is there's just too much of this sentiment going around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, that was our first interpretation, wasn't it? We were reading his pitch, the great pitch, and you know, most pitches are really good. Most people who come on here and pitch a book, I go, "Wow, yeah, that sounds really good." I mean, I don't know if it is, but it sounds really good.
Yeah.
His pitch is like, "Oh, that sounds really underwhelming and uninteresting."
It's because he himself is underwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
He's not interested in the project. He's doing something to pass the time until DC is back up and running. It's like, he doesn't give a shit. He's like, it's a plot hole. It's ironic. Like it. You know, what did I call it?
Metal Movies and Brewskis, and we're going to have him on soon too. He's got a Butch Cleaver book coming up. He's signed up for House Salad, so there you go.
Nice.
He's looking forward to it.
Yeah, but I was saying I just the plot holes. I put buttholes.
Oh, Mo, when are you going to start a channel?
That's my papa.
Although I don't know if I want you to, because then you would not be in my chat as much. Buttholes. Oh God! You were right, Bandito. We do have the sexiest chat in CG.
I wasn't making it up, you know. I was looking at who was here, and I've always said it's not about how many people you have watching; it's about who you have watching. And we have, you know, I see these guys all over. I see them in Ethan's show. I see them on War Campaign stuff, and I see them, you know, on Art T Bear's shows, and they are the best, most positive, most vocal, most entertaining in all the chats. So we got the sexiest.
Yeah, it's
chat
cool
in
when you
comics
go
week.
into another stream and you're like, "Hey, everyone," and you see all these guys here. Like,
Yeah.
hey, and you go, yeah, it's all good. I love it.
Well, Ryan Miller Art is using the chat to write a horror movie, so I'm kind of liking this. I'm following it.
I just caught up on it.
Is that
is that Mr. Bigglesworth?
Yeah, he's I don't know, lost in the hallway somewhere.
Oh, it's a cat.
Yeah.
Okay. How is he lost?
I don't
Do you
know.
wanna, have you got any of your pages to show off?
Me?
Camel Moon? Yeah.
Yeah, you're the guest.
Hail Salad Show.
This is your show, man.
Pages look awesome.
That's a comic. No, I don't. I mean, I have a line art for 5 or 6 pages done so far. I'm still like, God, I'm toying with the idea of doing the majority of it like by hand, so I can sell off, prints or not prints, but the pages if people want it. But I'm really not even going to start drawing the comic until the campaign starts, because then I'll put out stuff as the campaign's going to rev people up and incentivize them to be a part of it. It's sort of like a way to market myself as the campaign is going. But right now, between the cartoon, the trailer, and setting up the campaign, I just don't have time for it.
Yeah. How long is the book going to be?
32 pages, color.
Okay. Yeah, and we've already seen the 5 that you showed, the line art. I don't know if it was the full 5, but we saw a few, and they looked amazing.
Thank you. And then, I have the 2 posters or the 2 covers out there. So I mean, I don't think anyone is worried about how good the art's going to look. I mean,
we trust in you. We trust in the moon.
Okay, so we
trust in potato soup.
Why can't we see the line art pages anyway, even if they're just demos and maybe not part of the book in the end? But you say we already saw them.
I showed them like a month ago.
Oh,
do you have them on? Do you have them on hand?
Let me see.
We have 2 new people in the chat. Ooh. They got to see you.
Okay. Well, I have this. Okay, so I actually do have a couple of them up. This is line art. Let me set my pages up here.
Antoine Dennison says he thinks Sean Gordon Murphy could have done better if he did something in the vein of White Knight rather than cornholes. This cornholes. Yeah, I think everyone's in agreement there. Missed opportunity, but it's still a success. So even though it's sort of framed as a failure,
I don't know the way that he made it sound like he has to pay his crew like $150,000 or something like that.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. Well, that's the way he was just like, I have to make at least 50,000 or something just to pay the artist or just to pay someone, I don't know, the colorist or something like that. And I was just like, dude, you don't know how to make comic books.
Yeah, he's kind of like, he may be a big name in the industry, but he's new to this.
Yeah,
and that's what I think a lot of people don't understand, that just the name alone won't necessarily mean a big thing. Like what did I call Graham Nolan's book yesterday? Chinu.
Chode.
I don't remember a lot of that stream now. That's bad. But,
you gotta go back.
All I remember was I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sharing it.
It was really cute when Art complimented you on scrolling the artwork, and you're like, "Oh, that was blue," and he never knew. Even when you got up out of your chair and left for 5 minutes, and the artwork kept scrolling. And he never picked up on it. That's
why he was so impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just going to say, even
You
Graham
took your-
Nolan has started small, hasn't he? You know, he's just put out a little book, not this big thing, and you know, just kind of build from there. And we're seeing him now on the streams. Like, this is how you do it. You don't just. It doesn't matter how big you are. You don't just kind of come over here and expect to sweep up all the cash.
The same with Aaron Lepresti. He's making rounds on a far lobe of Comicsgate. You know, Comicsgate's an amoeba shape, but so Aaron Lepresti's getting around with a few people, and hopefully, if he relaunches Garbage Man, it'll get a lot more. So.
Yeah, and to Lord Crackhead's point, I genuinely believe every project deserves to be looked at, but it's up to the creator to tell you it deserves to be backed.
Yeah.
So,
Camel, you're sharing our stream.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm sharing my screen, right?
Okay. So we're gonna look at ourselves while we talk about ourselves.
All right. So
as we fall into the abyss of YouTube,
I only have one monitor, so I can't really do anything until you tell me to do something. So.
Yeah, I'm doing this on a laptop too. It's difficult, but
it's a pain. So yeah, tell me when you're done looking at
when
this.
I'm at work, I got the big screen, so comfy.
So yeah, this is just the line art, 2 pages. Yep. I think somewhere in the middle, and it's kind of right after this battle, and Zach is ripping his head. He's scalping this troll, and Ethan's, cleaning his blade, and they're talking about something. He's eating his brains here. I'm going to draw the brains coming in. And then he's doing some type of, I don't know, fallen god prayer, yada, yada. And then they're talking about, what the next step is. They shake hands to become partners. And then Zach will say something stupid. And then the two of them are sort of towers of power. And behind them is the troll castle that they're going to enter into next.
Nice.
And then... This would actually come before it, but this is the 2-page spread of them fighting the trolls.
Oh, that's so
you can
cool.
You can see the layout, but then when you show the final art, we kind of get the vision of what it's going to look like.
Yeah, so then if you cut to this is what it'll look like colored. This is the first full-page spread here on the right.
And are you doing the color yourself? Line art, coloring, everything?
Oh yeah, I do everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like it's no big thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's
just let me humble brag here. I'm just going to come onto your show and humble brag for a little bit here. Yeah, I'm just going to talk about.
It costs so much money to have someone else do it.
Oh, I know.
That's right.
I'm a writer.
That's right.
I know exactly how much it costs. Yeah.
And that's what you think. You get all this profit when you do it yourself. You don't have to pay anyone. But no, you on other campaigns. All the artists and everyone, they get paid.
Yeah.
It's not called profit, it's called payment. So, when you do it yourself, you do eventually, thankfully, get paid for all this work that you put into it. Jam Crate says, I think Graham working with Zach first was a great idea. Yep, I agree. It introduced a lot of people to the man who was sort of on the internet. Because we know a lot of people have come here. We have some in our circle as well. Poland is another one. Just who came through YouTube to this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
who came? People came through Fandom Menace, and then Johnny Rando is going to build his audience with one expensive Skype call at a time. Yeah, that was. I saw his reaction to Nolan had that up on his campaign. No, that is not the way.
One thing Nolan's doing is he's bringing his old audience with him. His last campaign before being on Zach's campaign was his reprint of the 2 Monster Island volumes, and so he's got that audience already, and then he kind of went up the rungs of the ladder to bring us into him as well. So hopefully there'll be some cross pollination, and his old audience will look at some Comicsgate books.
A cracker Jeremy wants to know: will there be bluehead land whales?
So I don't want to we only have 30 people watching. I guess I can let I haven't
let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, no, I haven't completely decided yet, but I think we might find out at some point that the arc they're writing in used to be a blue-haired land whale.
Ooh,
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Your mind works
I
in
love it.
mysterious
I love it
ways.
so
You know
much.
that?
You know what it is? It's just you just always have to think 3 steps ahead. You always want to have that moment where you're like, I remember once reading in movies, the best ending is the one that you never knew was coming, but makes the most sense. And
Okay.
if you can kind of anticipate that, then you can be like, okay, what would be a cool, clever twist for this? And then if you present things early on, but you already have a backstory in your head to it, you can release that whenever you want. But now the audience has started to build that lore in their head. And then when you reveal more backstory to it, then they feel like they've earned whatever that treat is at the end.
Mhm.
So
Now
there's
you
going to be a
just
lot
let
of
the
stuff
cat
like
let
that.
you out of the bag.
So basically, you're just manipulating us all. I understand.
I mean, that's what movies do.
I'm just going to come on here and humble brag a bit and talk about how I'm manipulating all of you guys.
You idiots. Yeah.
You.
But there's going to be a lot of stuff like that in the comic.
Thanks for coming, buddy. Glad you could make it.
That's awesome. We got a
Yeah,
good show.
I think the other one.
Good chorus is here.
Oh, good chorus.
Going. You got to get good chorus on too.
Mm-hmm.
That will be fun.
He told me he did his first stream the other day.
Oh, good. Yeah, get more of you guys need to kind of get into the stream scene. It's a bit nerve-wracking at first, but it gets really comfortable and you get to know everyone.
You just got to get comfortable with failure. That's all.
I don't. In embarrassment and saying weird things, and then Blue will call you out.
Anyone who's seen any one of my shows will know I'm super comfortable with failure.
You have to integrate your shadow self as you learn to use the streams.
You'd only been on a couple of streams with Ethan, hadn't you, Camel, before you came on here? You hadn't been on many streams.
One stream where I met them for the first time, and I got the whole stream got taken down. They got hit with a copyright, and so I've spoken to Ethan maybe once for about 4 minutes, and that was it. I mean, after that, I really just ended up going on the Jack show. It's kind of a pain in the ass to get on Ethan's show, to be honest with you, unless he invites you on, and I don't want to badger him at all, right? So I'm just like, well, if he wants to have me on, great, but I'm not going to ask him because I also totally understand and appreciate the idea that I need to, be successful first by myself, and then, down the road, if he wants to help or whatever, then great. But I also feel like the success of this is solely on me, and it should only be solely on me. It's not fair to put that onto somebody else because it's not their campaign; it's my campaign. Like me assuming that it's going to do well because it's on their show is actually pretty fucking stupid. It's like, I mean, it's not the golden ticket. It's just, it's a little bit of a bump. So,
yeah, I think Mo Biggs is being a bit sarcastic here. From EVS to Bancroft, someone strapped a rocket to this kid's ass. No, like a reverse rocket heading down. EVS gets as many subscribers as I have every single one of his streams. So.
Yeah, and I'm not knocking being on. I would love to be on it. Of course I would. But I'm also not reliant on it. I think if you're reliant on it, then you're kidding yourself.
Antoine says, sometimes I have too many people on stream. Yeah, I mean, it really does depend on who it is. When you get 6 on, it really, like, you're no longer in control of anything, where the conversation goes. And
you can't lock them all in your basement.
No. But I think Black Wild and although that stream we had with the 656 guys, that was a full house as well. And yeah, it is a bit harder to manage, but I think we did pretty well.
Well, usually you have 5 people in here. So, I mean, because usually it's you, me, Blue, and Poland, plus a guest. So
plus a guest.
So it's not like you ever have a small number of people on.
Yeah. I think to know if the Lucent will go into in demand. Yes, it will.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but it will be reduced. As in, I'm getting rid of all the sketch tiers. So I'll know exactly how many I need to sketch and everything like that. Because who was I talking this about? Someone yesterday. That if you have it separate, you can kind of do it while it's at the printer.
Mm-hmm.
It was Dan. He did the same thing. Like people who you have to wait for the books to get printed, and it's not just they get printed, it takes a couple of weeks or whatever. There's proofing and the color's not right on this page. It's got to scan. Delays happen. All that time is wasted. Whereas with me, anyone who does sketches on separate pieces, that's all time drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time the books land at my door, they're ready to go. Whereas remember Ethan had to spend months doing. He had like 700 head sketches or something.
Like 1,200 head sketches. It was an obscene.
Oh yeah, and you don't want to. I mean, every single one has to be. You got to do it like it's your first.
Yeah.
You can't.
Well, maybe
you
your
can't
second. Maybe your first, you fuck up.
Even his signatures got pretty weak throughout. I don't have mine here, but it's it doesn't even look recognizable.
That's one thing I wanted to ask Artsy Bear. He has such a great signature, and I don't have a signature that I think is like artworthy yet. I've got to develop one. I don't know, because I've never done this before, So I want to have something that people are going to actually want to see on the inside cover of their book or on wherever on their sketch or whatever.
Yeah, RT Bear probably has one of the best signatures out there.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah. So, but just to interject for a moment. I've never seen any of his videos. I have no idea what he's like in front of the camera, but I see him in chat all the time, and sometimes when he's jumped onto other people's streams. Death Metal Hero, his channel, we're going to post it again here in just a second. His channel is only 25 subscribers away from 100. So we got 30 plus people watching right now. If everyone went and subscribed, we'd probably get him there. We'd get him super close. So definitely go and take a look. He's always really good in all the chats. Always really positive, supports everybody, and is a really good Comics Gate fan.
Yep. And I just subbed. There you go.
Yeah. There we go.
Death Metal Hero. Here we go.
Death Metal, have you signed up for the email?
Your channel better be good, Death Metal. I'm just saying. After I plugged it like that.
No, he's a good guy.
He's a really good guy.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know about your channel, but I know he's a good guy.
He was saying he has 3 singing videos now, so now we're going to find out if good guy is good. We'll pass.
Well, he likes house salad too, so he
there you go.
That's just another bit of evidence.
Awesome.
Thank you. People are subbing. Yeah, Hexal. Yeah, Death Metal is a hoot. Yeah, he's a fun guy.
Yeah.
I just checked. We are 2 emails away from 460.
Hey man, I tried. I don't remember signing up for your thingy, but it says I already did, so I think I got hacked or something.
Uh-oh. So he's only 2. Okay, so
somebody hacked me and signed me up for your thing.
Use a different email.
So he'll really help you if 400. If someone signs up 5 times with different emails. It's still only the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife was like, "Can I sign up?" I was like, "I guess."
Had things out. I mean,
I was like, "Yeah, that's still 40 more we need." But
no. But it's good. You're getting a bit of a bump, so that's always good. That's
Bancroft bump.
Yeah, there you go.
Not the
Bancroft bump. You should patent.
Oh yeah, I love that Bancroft bump.
Yeah, my doctor doesn't like it. He wants to get it. He wants to get a biopsy on it.
I guess that's better than the Bancroft lump.
Yeah.
The Bancroft cyst. Oh, they'd love that over on Cecil's channel. Live
Cecil's cysts.
What else we got going on here?
Hey, why don't you show off your daughter's drawing, Bandito?
Oh, you guys want to see that?
Yeah. You guys don't know. Bandito is cultivating the next crop of CG artists.
Let's see.
And he's got his own book, and he's getting into the child labor like I plan on doing with my daughter. She's only 8 at the moment, but I'm teaching her the ins and outs of coloring in between the lines. It's little steps towards becoming my flatter.
I need a flatter. That's the one thing I would pay for.
Oh yeah, so yeah, my kiddo. I have a side story that my kiddo was like, I could draw some of that. and she's starting to turn in some work. And at 15, she's like, "So, is she sexy enough?" I was like, "Yeah, don't worry, it'll do." So, yeah,
drawn better women than I was.
Biggs is finding out for the first time he's a grandfather.
Yeah, of two.
You kept that from. Well, if you were more involved in his life mode, you would know these things.
It's your own fault.
You owe a lot of birthday presents, my friend.
That's right. Start catching up. So I got another thing that's actually was really interesting.
This is really good stuff. You were mentioning.
Hold on, we'll go back.
You were mentioning Blue, like just the way she's standing with the hips and everything, and how the shoulders are kind of cocked up on one side because she's holding the. Is she holding there?
She's going to have a spear.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
The spine is slightly moved to match the hip, the leaning on one leg. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's really good stuff.
Well, the really interesting part of this is she's going to be painting these. So she doesn't want digital color or anything on it. Mm-hmm. She's actually going to paint it afterwards as well. So, and her painting is. I wish I had something here to show you, but I don't even have. I think she took over to the other place, but she did this Coraline painting that was just phenomenal. Plenty of people tried to buy it, and she's just like, nope, and she gave it to her sister. So, but I got another thing that was really interesting, and I'm not quite sure what to think about it. But hold on a sec. Someone decided to do up some fan art.
Of you.
Of me. So this is Lucius. This is the guy who's doing the Cecil Ghost Rider
stuff.
Yeah, the whatever. And I was talking about how the light of the human sunbeam doesn't shine on me anymore, so sometimes we've got to make our own light. And he ended up doing this. I was just like, dang, man, I don't know how to feel about that. But
it's definitely a surreal feeling. I've had 2-3 pieces of fan art sent my way, and it's a bizarre stratosphere to be in. You're just like, oh wow, that's affected somebody to the point where they need the urge to stop what they're doing
to stop and do something like that. And
so go ahead.
He even added this in, which is part of my name comes from when I was a kid playing basketball, and I have like this gigantic arm stretch, and I would be constantly stealing the ball, and so they would say, "Don't get around that bandit." The other team, and we had 2 teams that were calling me that. Don't get around that bandit; you won't get the ball. So he incorporated that into it as well. So I
like the eyebrow expression on that basketball there.
Yeah, he nailed it. He got it right. So yeah. Anyway, weird stuff. I guess it scared Bancroft away. He's like, "Where's my fan art?" So
we're still here. I'm the new.
We're still here. Bancroft.
Potato soup is king.
It is your show now.
All right, everybody. Well, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Will Valley. Tonight, we're going to be talking with Smiling Bandito and Blue Samurai Zero. Guys, I want to know what you're thinking about the current interstate of Comicsgate and whether or not it's the future of the industry or it's just a passing trend.
It's a big future, and even if DC somehow monetarily survives, Comicsgate still has its place as the new indie.
Damn it, Blue! Because you took that argument, now I have to be the villain. I have to be the devil's advocate.
You go after Marvel.
Comicsgate is it's on its way down. I mean, we already see it failing. I mean, what? Those campaigns are only making $20,000-$30,000. I mean,
which campaigns? I mean, most of them are like 40, 50, 150. You know what's interesting? I was looking at that number that came out recently. It's like that chart, the top 25. And, good, Mike Oxwell's here. And there's nothing in between like 60,000 and 150,000.
There's nothing in between what?
Between 60,000 and 150,000.
Huh.
Yeah, it's really learn a little bit of etiquette.
A huge jump.
You got to learn a little bit of etiquette. You're totally talking over Bancroft's joke.
That guy's gone. I'm here now.
And good riddance.
What's going on? Did you guys hear that Lucent book is about to beat Rob Replicators.
What? How do you feel about that?
Top 25.
How do you feel about that, Mike?
How does that make you feel?
It's rubbing me in all the right places.
Okay, how does that make you feel emotionally?
Well, I consider that Rob Arnold fella, that bloke, to be he's the evil, and that Bancroft guy is defeating the evil.
And how much evil do you think there is to defeat? Like 1 inch, 12 inch? How deep does that evil go?
I've taken 10 inches of evil before.
You sound like Jeff Goldblum.
Enough of this shit.
Darn, you found him out. Jeff Goldblum had crashed our stream.
That was terrible.
I'm a big fan of Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, speaking
that
of
guy's charming. Charming
as Jeff Goldblum.
There's a guy who did fan art of Rob Arnold the other day. Maybe it was Friday. I don't know when, Thursday, whatever. There are no days on around Earth, so. But yeah, there's a guy who did fan art of Rob. It was pretty cool, and I complimented him, and he says, "Hey, if you sub to me, I'll do fan art of you too." It's like, I bet he doesn't know I don't have a face, but if you're a creator and you want it, and like you're open to having somebody do fan art of creators, there's somebody out there doing that. It's really weird. I'm just like, it's weird but cool, like not weird bad. So yeah, I think that's nice. We're gonna end up with a Bancroft fan art soon.
Oh, it's happening. I'm certain of it.
Let me ask you, because I was thinking
if I'm ready for that.
I know some people are doing it, but like maybe doing the last 15, 20 pages of the Ash Can, or maybe even a separate book for just fan art stuff. If I got a lot of submissions, have you thought about doing anything like that? Maybe for your next campaign.
Was that a question for me? Sorry.
I'm sure that was for you, Bancroft.
I was looking up a page. I'm so sorry, man. Would I consider doing what? I a little bit.
Repeat the question, please.
Because I was considering doing something where like I have because I know Tug is doing it, like a submission process for fan art, and then like you gather up the best 20 pieces or whatever, and you make another book or a stretch goal book or whatever. So if that does well, but I was wondering if you had thought about doing something like that for your next campaign.
I had, but I was just so scared of the weight. I always knew that I would probably end up putting in a few extra pages into the book, and that is almost guaranteed to happen now. I've got the other book to go. It's lucky I actually made add-ons for my campaign, but I'm such a noob, I didn't actually turn them on. So this whole time, there was no add-ons, and I'm happy that I didn't, because if someone buys the top tier and then they were putting on add-ons, it'd blow the whole thing out.
Yeah, you wouldn't have enough. It would be too heavy.
Exactly. So yeah, and as well, in the next campaign, I've noticed that a lot of people do really well by having an Ashcan type book that they're selling with the main book. Yeah. So not just like a stretch goal thing, but something you can actually sell. So I think I'm going to do that as well for the next campaign. So it all depends on the weight again. It's pretty restrictive. It's the kind of the limit that we can allow up to. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I do love the idea. I've only received 2 pieces of fan art, and they're both incredible. So yeah, I definitely do love the idea. And maybe there'll just be more opportunity once people get the book in their hands to kind of see the characters and get a bit more of a feel for them and start receiving some stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and you've been a steady burn. So like you've gotten in front of a lot of shows, and it's been very what's the word? Your book has been growing steadily the entire time. So it's only going to be till the people start getting the book in their hands that they really start to get to know the characters. You haven't released a lot of artwork yet, but it'll happen. That piece that Antoine did was really good. The fan
What's
art.
that? So I didn't catch the last bit. The internet.
The piece that Antoine did was really good.
Oh yeah, amazing. And again, I've got to integrate that in some way. And again, I'm worried about weight, so I don't know exactly how. Art gave me idea. He saw he had a piece of art from one of the guys on his show, and he made that the trading card for the people who signed up. So
that's a great way to do it.
I said a postcard.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could put it on the postcard.
That would be.
And I said to
Antoine,
Antoine,
yeah,
I said to Antoine, I might do I might color it and then record that so I can put that up as a video, so I can show how it got colored, and then that'll be that exclusive postcard for signing up. I think it's a really nice piece.
Your packages, potato soup. Your parcels are going to be super heavy.
Yeah, I mean, because I got to consider the shipping for the little plastic toys.
Yeah.
So I mean, the comic isn't going to weigh anything, but yeah, especially if you get all 7 of them. So I have to figure out what I might do. Is the shipping on those might be a little bit more, instead of just having a flat rate for everything. It's the only way I can figure out how to make that work.
Yeah. That's a hurdle for you to get over.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll be that bad. I mean, I'll package them and put them in bubble wrap, and I mean, I can get. I mean, they're pretty thin, and if you get all of them, and the comic and the ash can, you're still only looking at a package about this thick, so it's not too bad.
Mm-hmm. So I see that you're 459 emails away.
No, not away.
I just want to call. Yeah, one away. 459. I just want to call upon the chat. There has to be one of you out there, one of you out there that can sign up to the email today.
If you have just one chance to come back and sign up for Hail Salad.
Are you a priest or a Satan?
Good cop, bad cop.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I'm going to share something.
Ooh.
Talking about getting close. Talking about a game of inches.
Inches of evil.
It seems like we were here yesterday, and then the day before, trying to get to 440, 450, 460. Well, now we're back, trying to get to 470, so that we're within striking distance as the campaign ends of that magic number. I mean, it's sort of going to be a joint thing, 525K.
I told you 500 was going to be where you landed.
What a number!
Yeah,
what a number! And if we're going to be talking defeating the evil, and Rob Arnold is the evil one, and then this is all being agreed upon. I'm going to be his evil. He's going to be my evil, and we're going to just ride that evil Australian wave all the way up to the top.
He's got that evil Australian accent where the word "no" has like 14 vowels in it. So yeah.
No.
No.
My kids say that to me now. No. Like, how many vowels do you need in that thing? It is just I showed it yesterday at the end of the stream, and it is just a work in progress. So you might have to use your imagination. Oh, look at this potato internet. Look at that. Loading.
It'll catch up.
It'll catch up eventually.
Eventually.
I showed this at the end of the stream yesterday, so you're gonna have to use your imagination you're gonna have to use your imagination anyway because it's not loading. But
I like your little graph there, so everyone knows how far along you are.
So you're campaigning for a blank book that just says "Use your imagination."
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just 20 blank pages. Just fill in whatever you want to happen.
This is me. We put like a new router on and everything because it was getting really bad at one point, and you guys all know, and you're all really nice, and you don't say anything, and then we got this super fandangled Wi-Fi extender because I can't get any cable internet into this cottage out here. It all has to be Wi-Fi, and even still, it just doesn't want to work well. I don't know, it's spotty. What is that called? Latency? I don't know. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There you go. The latency is it high or low or whatever it is? The lag. Here we go. Things are loaded. There you go. All right. So yes, it's still very much a work in progress.
So good. Damn it,
but
Michael.
There's Ella. She's not hanging herself. She seems to be floating, flying, whatever you want to call it. There's all kinds of paper because it is a library swirling
like,
around her.
I don't know if you've ever played it, but the library in one of the levels of the Arkham game.
I haven't played it, no.
Oh yeah, it looks
Totally does. It just doesn't have the shelves going down the middle.
Yeah, like it, like
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But like, it's a level just like that.
Yeah,
And it doesn't have a ladder for getting the books at the top, as Anton pointed out.
You
start over, do it again.
I know, rub it all out. Yep, get rid of it all.
You have
Sometimes
to
you just gotta go back to zero.
What were you saying, Blue?
You have to take a bite of the cake. It's an Alice in Wonderland reference.
It's there's a lot of references going on here. So yeah, and I don't like to talk about the references. I like people can just sort of read into it in their own.
I meant what I said was a reference to Alice in Wonderland. She bites the cake and drinks the thing and shrinks. Anyway.
And as an extra bonus, if you
there's
look really...
plenty of actually Alice in Wonderland references in this book.
Cool.
I've mentioned that a few times.
And as an extra bonus, if you look through the shelves, you will find every single Comicscape book that has been published to date.
I should write their names on some of the spines. That would be fun. I don't know how small I have to get.
Oh, it's in there. You just got to look.
Oh, didn't Ethan do that with Starblades? That one of the kids is reading a Starblades comic.
Oh, maybe.
Anton wants to know, is this Ella's final form? Look, I don't really want to say that. There's no like costumes or anything like that in this story. It's not like costumes, superheroes, and stuff like that. But she's definitely wearing a getup that kind of comes into play eventually, and she's at a place that has a huge. I mean, this is a private library, and it's part of its complex. Has a huge part to do with the story and everything. So yeah, it's all kind of my own Easter eggs that no one else is going to know about, and hopefully it just ends up looking cool. I know exactly how I'm going to color it too. It's going to be like down here on the left. You probably can't make it out. Let's see if I can zoom in. I don't know if I can. There we go. So these are these little enclaves here. They're windows. So there's going to be light streaming in through there. It's going to look pretty cool.
How long does a page like that take you?
This is taking me a long effing time. I mean, this is not something I would ever normally do. Like, this is a one-off kind of thing.
Yeah.
Drawing this library in the book, it won't look like this. This is just sort of off the charts sort of craziness. Or if I do draw it, you draw it once as kind of like the introduction to it, the establishment shot, and then just allude to it in other shots.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, there's so much detail. It's.
But yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the point of it. It's the background is really detailed, and she's quite detailed, but she's mostly wearing black. I do like the hair though. I was happy with her hair.
Yeah, that is.
Was it Antoine asking me the other day? We were listening to Ethan, and he said, "What are you doing?" I was drawing that hair.
You did this digitally?
Yeah, it's all digital.
Yeah, the hair looks digital. That's why I thought maybe.
Yeah.
I Borrow Ideas has a good question for you.
Okay.
How many volumes do you see yourself doing?
This arc, it was originally 6, and then I don't know why I did this, but I kind of like thought I could expand the 6th one out and break it over 2, and really take my time with the ending in a way. Like, I'm not talking about filling out. I'm not talking about doing like a Twilight thing. I mean, just really rewarding the readers who stick with it to the end like that, because so much of what I love is the anticipation and the build up. Mm-hmm. And that's why I wanted to do this piece when Liam Gray mentioned it, like doing a kind of final form thing. Ella in the book that you're going to get now is nothing like this. maybe kind of in her dream she is, but she's just, and as well, you'll see her in this book. I think it's here, you kind of see her. She's in a bookstore. So there's that, it's kind of a play on that. And I can get to it. There's her there. She's like, on the floor, kneeling down, stacking books in a secondhand bookstore. That's where she is when you'll meet her. So go from that to that. And this isn't the moment in time that I've drawn in the story. This is just purely something cool that I wanted to draw.
Nice.
I'm sure you know or may have posted it, but when's your release date, or do you have an idea for delivery?
No, not as such, but like what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some time off work and just really go hard on the coloring, get as much as done as I can, and then I'll have a firmer grasp on how long it's going to take. What I'm already doing is I'm already getting all the little separate bits, like the poster and the prints. Like as soon as this is done, I'm going to send this and the other print off to the printer. We're going to get all the colors right and everything. So that get all that stuff out of the way, so that I've got it here. Where is it? So that, like I can just really smash through these pages. You can see here that, they're all inked and colored and everything, but they're just not finalized. And some of those pages, it's like I've already redone the color on a page that has similar coloring. So all I have to do is transfer that over to that page. And that takes an hour or two on that page. Whereas others, now I've got to really kind of figure out the color, and I've only got about three sort of, maybe two scenes that I really do have to finalize on how I want the lighting and coloring to be. And that can take, that might take a day to really hone in on it and find, how I want it to be. But then I've got 5 other pages that use that same palette, and then I just copy that over.
Yeah.
So they only can take, again, an hour or two. But
is that the same bar graph you opened the campaign with?
It is, and it's only jumped up
updated.
2 or 3 pages. Because I wanted to upload some stuff, but like I said, I've just been doing other things like this and the stretch goals and stuff.
We need a new bar graph.
Is 61%, is that arbitrary, or is that like an exact?
Well, I'm going to go up in 1% now.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully it'll figure out. Like I know I'm no mathematician.
Yeah.
There you go. Crackhead Jeremy's right. Nothing wrong with taking your time. Yeah, that's right. Because there's so much anticipation and build up throughout the story. By the time, everyone that you care about now is fully kind of out in the open. All the cards are on the table. We know all the stakes. We know where they are. We know where they're at. And the conflict has come to a breaking point. You want to see what they can do. So that's, I want to take my time with that and really, give people the big reward that they've been.
There comes a time when they have to go full Jedi.
Exactly. You give them little bits along the way, but it's always a tease. It's just never enough, so you want to really give that big moment at the end. So that's why I thought, probably end up doing 7 books.
Well, the other problem with rushing that I don't want to see you fall into, Mike, is you said you've gone back and retouched some of these pages to really finalize them or be able to see problems. As you reach the end of your coloring, I really want you to have the time to get away from it and then come back later with fresh eyes again, like you did the other pages.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And as well, you kind of hit on something really good, and then you go back and you realize, that other page does need a little bit more adjusting. And just get everything perfect. And as well, that there's like inking still, like I don't like this guy's hair, I'm going to redraw his hair or something like that. And that's going to take a little time as well. But all the good stuff. So we're 2 away. Just
hey, speaking of not liking this guy's hair, do you want to check out my screen? This is the fan art that guy did of what's his name? The Nemesis here. Whoops. No, show us that. There we go. Rob, our nemesis.
Yep.
Check that out. But here, if I got my tabs correct, there's his source material.
Oh, wow, that's pretty good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so he tweeted this out, and Rob, I think, retweeted it or something. So if you want, and he's in our conversation, he said, find me and I'll or follow him and whatnot. So Entertainment Madness, I put his channel in the chat a while ago. Everybody go follow him for. And it'll scare the crap out of him. So all these followers all of a sudden. But no, I think he's up and coming and could use some encouragement, which would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
that's what we're here for.
That's an interesting technique to kind of get yourself seen. I mean, it's definitely going to turn heads if someone draws you, like with you, Bandito.
Or it's creepy as everything.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's definitely going to get your attention. I don't know how I would feel about it.
And there's, I think there's a balance. So, I mean, like for people who just want to get noticed, or people who want to do fan art because they appreciate the creator, I think that's fantastic. I think that is one of the highest forms of what's it called? When you are, there's a word for it. When you like somebody and compliment. It's the highest form of compliment.
Likes a girl.
Yeah, that's the one. So yeah, I mean, like, absolutely go out there and do fan art for the creators and for their IPs and stuff. But if you are taking away from your own projects to do fan art to be noticed, thank you, Antoine. If you're taking away from your own projects to do fan art in order to get noticed, you should do your own work and put that out to get noticed. Because ultimately what you end up doing is you're advertising for somebody else rather than yourself.
Yeah, but no.
I think it depends what your goal is. Like last night when I was on Mandy's stream, she had People Circus on. That guy's an incredible artist. He's a painter, and he wants to be further ingratiate himself with, CG and CG artists.
Yeah.
And I suggested, I was like, your stuff is great, but I can totally see you as like a cover artist. In fact, like
Absolutely.
Narwhal is hired by everybody, it seems like, at this point, to do a variant.
But
it's
you look
like
at how
I
many
could see
pieces,
people doing the same thing.
You look at the pieces that he did for Cecil, which got him really well noticed. You could tell that he loves the creator. You could tell that he was bought in. Cecil is love. He loved everything about it, just by the pieces that he was making, right? So, like, if that's part of the reason that you're doing it, I'd say, yeah, absolutely go ahead. But if you're just doing it to get noticed, I'd say work on your own stuff,
Yeah,
put that out.
I mean, I think, yeah, it kind of goes back and forth. I think in what you're saying specifically, you're probably right. Like, because you don't want to stretch yourself too thin or have nothing to offer outside of just working for other people.
I agree and disagree.
Pick a side, Bancroft.
Balance. It's totally a balance.
I've got the fence riding up my ass crack right now. It's really.
Yeah. That's exactly where I want the fence to be.
I'm not going to try my weird German scientist impersonation. No, like I actually credit my slow kind of rise out of obscurity to fan art. That's sort of what
you were a fan of those things. Like, would you have done those if you yourself didn't also believe in that, in the animations that you were doing?
No, but I know I did fan art as well before that. I drew I drew Billy Tucci's She. I drew Rob's Ghost. I drew Expendables. I drew what else? Some other things. Jack Irons, Scurry stuff. I did a bunch of stuff just to yeah. And it's like, I get what you're saying. Like you do want to be known for what you're doing, but as well that. Making those connections is actually like the first stepping stone upon which I, kept going towards sort of getting myself out there, because no one up until that point really cared all that much about my original stuff, because they don't know me and they don't know my characters. But you know, once you sort of get your profile building and rolling, and then they do start to actually care and do get to know you and care about what you're doing. So I think it's a balance. Like I was happy to take a little time away from my own work, as well. It's fun too, because I always pick something that I hadn't drawn before. So like with Jack Irons, he's like a cybernetic cowboy dude. With Ghost, it was a sci-fi chick. With the Scurry stuff, it was a wolf and a mouse. The big muscles, which James made fun of on Expendables, you know. So it was practice as well. So I was trying to like kill a lot of birds with one stone.
I think it also depends on what you consider to be fan art. If I draw a picture of Batman, is that fan art, or is it like, does it have to be specifically in like a Frank Miller style, sent to Frank Miller saying, "Hey, I really like your Batman." You know, because like as an artist, I can tell you sometimes you just want to draw something that you see. It's just like it's in you. You're just like, well, I really want to draw Ninja Turtles. Let me just draw the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, and that was the caveat that I had given, is that if you're a fan of it and you want to do the fan art, absolutely do so, right? But if you are, because the thing too is like that time might not get you noticed. So just because you do fan art for somebody and you send it over to them, yeah, I mean, you might not.
Yeah, but I mean,
that happened with me too. And then like, you know, I did something for Zach, and it didn't really. No one saw it. No one cared, and I spent a lot of time on it. And I thought, you know, that was gonna be time wasted. And then, but I was just trying. I was trying things. I had the YouTube channel. Like, what do I want to put on the channel? I had no idea.
Right.
So I was trying things, and I was starting to get a bit more confident to do commentary videos. And you know, you just notice, okay, so the commentary videos get 100 views, and the fan art videos get 20. Like literally, some of them were, you know, struggling to get 15 views. And you know, you can see in the stats that people are only watching it for about a minute and a half.
A minute,
yeah. This is like maybe not where I need to be spending a lot of my time here, especially because they can be quite time consuming. But at the same time, the people were sharing them. Like the people who I drew them for were sharing them, and I made connections. So I made kind of initial connections that kind of set the ball rolling. But
you know, one of the go ahead.
Then with the cartoons, I mean, that was like that just all blew up.
Yeah, like unfortunately, just due to the way that the internet works, if you want to be noticed, it's very, very, very difficult to be noticed with original content. It's just, it's almost impossible. So it's like, you know, I mean, I got written up in Bleeding Cool and Geek Tyrant and a couple of other websites because I did a couple of Batman comics. And they were fan Batman comics. But, you know, if I had just sent over my personal comic, do you think they would have cared? Do you think I would have, you know, gained any followers? No, no one knows who the fuck I am.
Well, and don't get me wrong, I wouldn't consider it a hard, fast rule. You look at People Circus, it was his calling card. Right, it's his claim to fame for how he got noticed. And you look at 6 a.m. Comics. I mean, he's done every single character, and he's done the playing decks, the card decks with the characters and stuff. And I mean, that's kind of how he got his foot in the door of Comicsgate. So I'm not trying to say don't do it, but if you are choosing between time on your own stuff and time doing fan art to get noticed, I would say work on your own stuff.
Okay, that's understood. Work on your own stuff because you need your own stuff if you do get noticed. I hope I didn't misrepresent this guy in terms of well, let's see his. I gotta reopen a link here.
I don't think anyone's misrepresented. And I love fan art. I mean, this showed up in this other thing showed up in my mailbox, and I was just like, "How cool is that?" So
yeah, and he may have had a wrong impression of me just for complimenting his work. So you know, follow him, and he'll do a drawing of you. I think as if you're a creator. It's drawing creators is really not his bread and butter, as far as I can tell. He's got a lot of other stuff out there, and his Twitter says, "My name is Karsten. I'm an artist from Germany. Need some art done? Pinups, sequential colors? Let's talk." And you know, that's it. So this is just something. I really hope I didn't misrepresent him or his intentions or his you know, what he really wants to spend his time on. Even though your point is taken that if you're gonna have something, you need to work on your thing, not just work on your advertisement. Otherwise, you're advertising for, excuse me, otherwise you're advertising for something that's not there.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, and you're advertising for someone else's stuff, which I mean, Comicsgate is really good for, right? I mean, you want to be able to be a part of the synergy of Comicsgate, but I mean, no one. I don't want to say no one should, but doing things at the expense of your own project can be the difference of you getting your project off the ground. So,
yeah,
I shared a
also
link.
Also at the same time, yeah, I'm looking at this. Is awesome stuff, man. Here you go. If you want to have an idea of
that is so cool.
Camel Moon's artistic talents, here we go.
Nice.
At the same time, Bandito, it is possible if you're just an unknown guy, you don't have many followers, you don't really. I mean, you can have Twitter followers, and
there's a time and place for everything. I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from doing fan art. Yeah. Fan art is super.
I always say, if no one knows about what you're doing, you could have maybe one of the best thing going. But if no one knows about it, then it's just going to languish in obscurity. But I get your point. I mean, having said that, as much as I don't regret at all doing any of the fan art that I did, it didn't really get me many eyeballs. It got me. It got me connections, as in I got to meet the people and get to know them, as opposed to just we follow each other on Twitter, which can be nothing.
Well, one thing it did do was it gave a lot of backfill for when you were discovered, because I remember going through your YouTube channel at one point. When somebody found you, it gave them something to look back on and say, "Oh, okay, this guy has a portfolio."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to that example, Michael's going through my portfolio now. I never released this publicly until maybe a week or two ago, after being in CG for 6-7 months.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't really, no one cares. Now they care. Now they're like, oh, he can actually draw. But
now they
before it was like, all right, I guess who's this guy again? I mean, it looks nice, but I don't know who the fuck he is.
Wait, when you did that Alien Predator thing, did you get to work with Mark Verdheim? If I don't know how to say his name.
Oh no, that guy's a little bit older than I am. These are all just like spec covers that I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you never know,
Mike, can you go back? I want to show you something cool.
You never know what's going to catch, right?
And then
you never know what's going to be the thing that people see that makes it so that you are noticed.
This one's actually a 3D lenticular.
Oh, neat.
That's dope.
You do such cool things with your projects. There's nobody doing the plastic standees. There's nobody doing the animation the way that you're doing it, and the foil covers. I mean, man, you're hitting all the right buttons.
Thanks, man. And then you go down again. There's another one that you might like because it's Matrix based.
Ooh.
I was drunk last night eating my Hungry Jacks, and because I just watched The Matrix, it recommended to me to watch the second one, and God, that has not held up.
No, it hasn't. I tried watching that with my wife. We had to stop halfway through. The first one, but the second one is like, oh my God, this is a slog.
Yeah.
The first one, they knew their limitations technologically, and they stuck with it, and it looked seamless. But the second one, they tried to turn it into a blockbuster.
Yeah.
And the technology wasn't there, and I don't know if the story was there.
Well, I think that's the biggest problem with the story is it's very like cut and paste. It's just like action scene dialogue, but it's not interwoven at all. It just feels kind of like I don't know, like they.
I remember thinking it was kind of cool at the time. I remember thinking it was pretty cool at the time, and I enjoyed it. But now looking back on it, like having learnt crafting stories and everything, it does just like, okay, that's where the producer said, it's been 12 minutes since we had an action scene, and the last scene was literally 8 minutes of two people standing around talking at each other, and it's just cutting back between headshot and headshot.
Yeah,
like that's a lot of the movie is them just standing around talking.
It's not like particularly interesting philosophical conversation like the first one is.
No, No, and it's like, so okay, so Neo goes into this thing, and the guy they just have a fight, and as well, it's like they're not actually trying to hit each other. It's all just that.
Oh yeah, when he meets the key masters, like protector.
The guy who's protecting protecting the Oracle.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I thought this was cool back in the day, but yeah. And then and I got up to the bit where he's fighting all the Smiths, and my God, that's
Well, I
like
know why it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good because it takes place in a computer game.
Yeah, I never thought the second movie really stood up. I don't think it actually, especially when he was spinning around, he looked made out of rubber. But the second movie digitally never stood up to the first one. The first one has always looked better. Third one, they kind of worked out most of the kinks, but the story was all over the place. So
I saw those, I don't know, so long ago, and all I can remember thinking is they're trying too hard.
Yeah. And they filmed those two back to back too.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
They filmed 2 and 3 back to back.
Oh, you can tell. You can tell when something is a success that was never meant to be a blockbuster.
Yeah.
And it really just the biggest ever version of that was the Twilight movies. That first movie was supposed to be an angsty kind of like forbidden love indie film, and that's why it was successful. And then they're like, "Oh, people love it. Let's turn it into a blockbuster." And it's got to be the most cringe-worthy, unwatchable shit you've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even remember that Metal Movies and Brewskis. I mean, I vaguely do remember it, but I think I only ever saw the third one once. And yeah, I remember I thought it was like, oh yeah. But when I think, I mean, I've watched the first Matrix. I watched it the other day, and it's still just as good.
Yeah, no, it's a classic. And on that note, gents, I think I am going to bow out for the evening.
Yeah, I think it's been an hour 30.
Yeah.
And I think I want to go and work on my
shit.
Oh, and now Liam wants to come in. And I
Hail the orange.
That's fine. I
I'll
do have
hang
to
around.
bounce though. So
I'll hang around if you want to come in, Liam. Is
Yeah,
that what you're
absolutely.
saying? Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, Camel Moon.
hey guys, thanks so much. And I'll be out there. I'm sure I'll be back on the show soon.
That's
Yeah, no,
perfect.
absolutely. And yeah, so you're launching soon. So
Yeah, July 9th. I'm sure I'll be on before then though.
All right, guys.
Very
all right,
cool.
Camel.
All right, guys.
Thank you so
Potato
much.
soup.
And everyone subscribe. He needs to get to 500. 460.
40
getting there.
40 away. We got the 460. So thank you all.
We got
for
the
that.
460.
Nice.
Nice, very good. Okay, guys. Okay, take it easy.
Cheers.
See you, man.
Have a great night.
Liam, I'm excited.
Ooh.
A whisper went through the crowd.
I haven't chatted with Liam in ages.
Liam's here. Liam, the orange koala. Liam's here.
Can't wait for my orange koala.
You've saved one. Or is it a drop bear? Orange drop bear.
This message thing in Twitter, it really is the worst.
So are we all going to his channel to make sure that he's not sniping us?
That's your job.
Would you guys tell me if he was?
Oh yeah.
No.
I totally want Liam to snipe me. Can you
No,
snipe me,
I
please?
joined in on his channel.
Are you saying that? Is Liam saying that we're low energy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's basically like, your show sucks. Let me come
coming in
on
with
to
an
that.
insult. He's negging us, and it worked.
Ignore
Yeah,
it.
we're pretty much coming to a natural end, and he happens to catch that. So now he's
Yeah.
like that.
Ah, I see.
That's
Yeah, I
okay.
was like, yeah. I mean, I don't know how long I'll be able to hang around because I really do want to get my teeth back into that drawing. But I mean, how often does the orange drop bear just
Drop in.
drop in to say hello, especially when he's on hiatus? Oh, and he's suited up for us too.
Just drop in.
Yeah,
Hello,
this
Liam.
makes me really suspicious, man, that you're in a suit.
Oh no, this is how I work. This is like how I start my day. So
Well,
it's
hail and
just-
well met, Liam.
I saw that the stream was going. I went and I got my mail, and it appears I have brand. So I thought, hey, I could stream, but I haven't talked to, Bancroft in a while, and he's live. So I just sort of popped in, and I saw you guys dragging your feet, thinking we're going to end the stream and start our day. And I thought,
no chance.
No, I'll keep them going, and I'll make them, and I'll just drag them out, and I'll open brand and see what brand looks like if you guys are interested. Did you guys get it?
Yeah,
let's do it. No, I did not.
No, I'm not. I didn't get brand.
So you get to.
I'm a
blue black.
big
That's
fan.
everything.
Big fan of Kane and White. I think he's very, very talented. So very interested to see.
He is a super talent. Anton wants to know if I can draw and stream at the same time. No, I've got my whole setup back in the house, and I don't see how I'd be able to do that. Maybe if I was on someone else's show, I could do that.
Yeah,
not on my own.
I got a show. You can come on. We can talk about UFO stuff.
Oh, cool! I have a UFO story. I love UFO stuff.
How long ago did it happen?
A while ago. I've got it up on my. No, I don't. I took all my videos down. But
Why
I've
did
got
you do that, man?
Because
I was
had
going through your backlog, and I was looking at all your stuff, and then you're just like, no.
I actually Liam versus the cardboard backer. I have defeated the cardboard backer, but it did come with one. So that's in addition to just the sort of just the standard issue here. We can have a look.
Shiny.
Nice.
Signed.
That's a great cover.
It really is.
Looks like it's arrived in perfect nick too.
Yeah.
All the way to Australia.
Yep, made it all the way here.
You got probe.
No, that's sort of the sad part of my story is that.
Oh yeah, there wasn't
it's a big
enough
nothing.
probing.
It's a big nothing. It's a big nothing burger. Like
they left him high and dry with blue balls.
Yeah, exactly. You see something crazy so close for so long, and you think, oh, cool, my radio's going to cut out. Something's cool's going to happen. But I'm standing there on the Bruce Highway with a bunch of other people, and we're just standing here looking at this UFO. You could have hit it with a tennis ball if you threw it at it. That's how close it was.
Oh, really?
And nothing happened. Everyone, I swear to God, nothing happened.
How many people?
There was 5 carloads of people. Everyone got bored. Everyone just stood around there waiting for something to happen. They got bored and they drove home because it was storming really bad. That was back when we had that big green lightning storm up in Brisbane, along the Bruce Highway on the way home. I think it was about 9 o'clock or something at night, and we all just stood there. I was like, "Holy crap!"
Bruce Highway.
Yeah, which is funny. I didn't even realize that. But yeah. But that's where it all happened. It was crazy. But yeah, I was like, I'm gonna fight an alien. And I was like, I gotta prepare myself mentally because they're gonna try and mind wipe me or something. I gotta come up with some sort of mental defense. I gotta wait for something to happen. I'm like, this is gonna be great, and just nothing happened. And then everyone just got bored. And I was like, why is everyone getting bored? I was like, are the aliens affecting their minds? It's so crazy I am. I'm like, why is this boring to people? It's only been 15, 20 minutes or something, But
so how did
it was crazy.
The masses are fickle.
They just decided, fuck it, we're going home, It's just it was crazy.
I mean, the UFO, what happened with it?
My missus, after everyone else left, right, my missus at the time was like, Liam, I'm going and I'm going to leave you here. I'm like, no. If something happens, if you leave me here and something happens, everyone's going to think I'm crazy. And so, like a total puss bag, I ended up, getting back in the car and she drove home.
Oh.
And I was like, and I was sad. I watched it all the way. The whole time I was waiting for it to zip away or just do something crazy, but it didn't. It just stayed there the whole time, just floating over floating directly over the highway, right? And when we first saw it moving, when it sort of first came in, it came from this side because I'm backwards. It just sort of came in at about this speed in the distance, like it was a helicopter,
Mm-hmm.
And then it just stopped over the highway directly in front of us. We saw it there for ages. It was big triangle.
It flew up to you like a helicopter. Are you sure that it wasn't a helicopter?
100% certain it wasn't a helicopter. Yep.
He's
well, we could see it. We could see
throw
it.
A tennis ball at it.
Though, yeah, exactly. Though I will
that's
say
simultaneously the most interesting and boring UFO story I've ever heard.
Exactly. It was super disappointing. Because
it was likely one of those black government helicopters in whisper mode.
Mm.
No, okay, so there's a bit
Blue
more
has
to it.
cracked the
Okay,
case.
so this is how I knew that it wasn't a helicopter. For a starter, we could see it. It was a triangle. It had it. I would describe it didn't look alien. You know how everyone says, "Oh, it looked like no one could make it." Like this looked like a big ship, like a boat. Like it had rivets in it, like those round rivets that you see in old ships. You could see those in it, like big bolts. It was just metal, big triangle. It had 3 headlights on it. They weren't facing down. They weren't like triangles like you see in some of the photos. They were headlights like the headlights of a motorcycle or like a sort of spotting lamp, one on each corner facing forward. It was raining so heavy that you could see the rain sort of cutting through the light and everything. And what was really interesting was it was low enough to the ground that when we all sort of pulled up along the side of the road and we walked out to get under it, there was like a curtain of dryness. So it's pissing down rain, wet, walk in, dry. And it's just like now there's no wind, there's no barrier, like there's nothing weird, there's no weird feeling. It's just like dry underneath it. And there was the occasional little splash that would come in, like you're standing under, like under a roof or whatever, at the side. But like the rain, which was coming down at all different angles, just wasn't coming under the craft. And it was triangle. We walked all around it. I was looking for like a flag or something that I could identify it with, something, because the initial like, oh my God, wore off, right? And then it became like, what is this? What I'm going to tell everyone? But yeah, everyone just got bored and left.
So if I understand correctly, a riveted 1940s triangular UFO somehow elevates itself with something that helps control weather.
Well, I don't know if it was because if it came because of the storms or it made the storms. There's no evidence, anything like that. There was
I'm talking about underneath it where the wind stopped and all that. So somehow
it was just
its propulsion system affects weather just underneath it. And it's from the 1940s, from what you're saying.
Well, I don't know if it was from the 1940s. I just know what it looked like.
I'm imagining the much more likely scenario is that it's man-made and it's just some super secret hidden technology. And there's just some operator operating from somewhere laughing his ass off.
Exactly.
Aussies standing around scratching their head. And he's like, they got to bet, how long until they leave? Are they going to get bored?
I mean, naval researchers get drunk too. Go out, fly the experiment.
It's true.
Because they know no one's never going to believe them anyway, unless they have photos and evidence. It's just another story. That's a cool story. Horace says so.
Scouts Honor
is a thing in Australia.
Yeah, no, but I swear to God, Scouts Honor, that's 100% the truth. That's what happened. I went home and I was like, maybe they're going to come for me in my sleep, like through the walls, like in the documentaries. And so I sort of put a I didn't sort of. I put a webcam up on us, connected to the TV, connected to the computer, and I put it on our bed, and I recorded us all night because I was hoping that the aliens would come while we were asleep. But they did not come. Nothing happened. And then I went into work the next day, and I told everyone. I called everyone up, and I told everyone. I said, I saw a UFO, But honest to God, my opinion is the thing that I saw, I have no reason to believe that it was extraterrestrial, right? Because it looked like a vehicle, just no vehicle I had ever seen before. Right. And I couldn't see the top of it either. So maybe it had helicopter blades, but you couldn't hear them. But was that the rain? I don't know. But I couldn't see how it was keeping itself there, and it was just stationary, hanging above us. It wasn't like bobbing up and down. It was just like sitting up there.
They're not stationary. They move
exactly.
around. Even when they're stationary, they're bobbing.
It was like a big ass floating platform. That's the best way I could explain it. Big triangle floating platform, but it had nothing keeping it up. Like there was no.
But it's ass floating. It's for ass floating. That's what. Yeah.
You get a ton of cool stuff with this.
Wow.
Devilfish says, "What a coincidence! This happened the same night where Liam drank an entire bottle of vodka."
No.
Well,
don't drink, guys. I was on my.
who's sending out a book. Surprise your readers with cool stuff when they get it.
Always.
That's my plan too. These are really rad.
How's the print quality?
I haven't checked yet. Just on the pinups, they seem
Antoine
pretty
says
good.
it's quite good. He hasn't read it yet, though.
Yeah, look at this though, amazing.
That's Kane and White, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Well, like the man's a god.
He is a beast.
Oh, that's so good.
Great coloring too.
Yeah.
Who did the colors? Was
detail.
Kane in the colorist too? I wonder. I have to check the book. I'm the one with the book.
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
think he does coloring. I don't know. I didn't think he did.
The cover is really the covers. Huh. That's interesting. So far, the best put together book that I've seen, that I've encountered from a quality purpose, was Graveyard Shift. Was Graveyard Shift 1. But I would say the brand's cover seems to be higher quality, made of something a bit sturdier than that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Colors by Kid Icarus. Kid Icarus is the colorist.
Oh yeah, that's familiar.
Is it just the cover is sturdier, or all the pages thicker, or what?
Give me a minute to actually just quickly assess. I think the paper might be a little thinner. I'm not sure.
Hey, do you know we had Oz on the show yesterday, Liam?
No.
Oz
Am I in
came
trouble?
on.
Has he got me in trouble? He's always getting me in trouble. That
No,
Oz.
we just had a laugh, and we were explaining Bogans and Goon of Fortune to Art Tiber and
Goon of
Phil.
Fortune. Oh my god!
We even pulled up a photo.
Oh, how did they take it? That would have been funny.
It took forever because Art was drunk. So
he just couldn't really understand. And I was drunk too, so it was all a shambles.
Oz told me that he'd come on the stream that I did earlier about Sketch, but when I asked what had really happened, he said, "Oh, not really that much. It's 5 hours." So I was like, "Oh, I can't watch that. I don't have the time. I've got work to do."
Yeah. How was the
overall, I got to say, the cover stock seems to be superior. Like I'm not talking about the quality of the book itself. I'm just talking like its physical production. I'd say the cover seems to be sturdier, and I think that the interior stock may be lower than what we had in Graveyard Shift, because the pages felt better in Graveyard Shift.
sometimes the thinner paper is like early Valiant is actually a much higher quality paper, but it just comes out thinner. Yeah.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it when the pages
It's definitely good
in a comic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's definitely good. It's definitely good. Definitely good. So yeah, no, I'm looking. I've already sort of read it once, but I'm looking forward to going through it again in person. Good evening, Mr. Tobor.
Yeah, we've had him on as well, and he showed us a little GIF of what he's been working on with the Xenotype game. Yeah, that was lots of fun.
No,
Shane wants to know, how does it smell?
I have no sense of smell. I also have no sense of taste.
And the way you just say that, I have no sense of smell. All right.
Yeah, no sense of smell. Sorry. I had various illicit substances blown into my face while I was in the crib, and as a result,
that's awful, man.
Yeah, I cannot taste or smell anything. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I thought I would humble you all. I would bring the mood down. But yeah,
you were supposed to bring us up. We were shutting down.
Yeah, no, that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're doing. Okay, so I would say Bren looks good. I look forward to it. I got a ton of extra stuff that I didn't ask for. I'd be interested in knowing who did these things that I showed earlier. These little are these Kanan too? I wonder. Like these little chibi things. I think they're stickers. Yeah, I think they're stickers. Can never go wrong with stickers. As a tiny word of advice to people that are doing stickers, looks fantastic. Putting the word like under his shoe, like brand, like something like that.
Are those die cut or are they rectangular?
They're rectangular. They're rectangular, I believe. Yeah, but they're from averydennison.com. But yeah, but oops, yeah. But if you're to, oh come on, Liam, if you're to do these stickers, you know, like anyone's to do stickers, I recommend having your logo or your company sort of brand in the little picture somewhere, even if it's just in small font. That way, if some crazy son of a bitch sticks them like in an underpass somewhere or something like that, or somewhere at school, and someone finds them that don't know what they are and they're interested, they'll be able to be like, what is this? They'll, instead of being like, I saw a thing with like a black guy kissing like a white girl and there was a heart, it looked kind of cool. Like they can look at it and be like, and it was called Brand, you know? And then they'll be able to go and find it. God, I'm a nerd.
Depends on what you're trying to do.
Oh, you should always be marketing. You should always be marketing. You should always be selling. You should always be finding new customers.
It's something Mr. Lucent has told me multiple times. It's all just part of the charm.
It's all just part of the charm. True.
Yeah.
So, what has been going on in Comicsgate while I've been away?
Oh, not much. A couple people put out some books.
Pretty positive. Not saying it's because you've gone away, but
I see. Jeez Louise.
No, I think it's been. I haven't like had any problems with it recently. Like I think a lot of people have just learned to kind of go to their own sides of the room, and Ethan's sort of gotten back into the swing of thing, and had some really fun shows recently. I mean, I don't catch as much as I used to because I'm really busy, and Oz's show is been quite good too. And we were asking him about that, like, how's it going to be when you come back? How's that all going to work? He was a bit umming and ahhing over that.
Yeah, it's an interesting point of conversation, I suppose. Gosh.
Well, Micah launched his book.
How do I put it?
He's not funded yet.
Micah
doing well.
Yeah, we've got to get where I've been keeping a sort of tabs on Micah, just enough because we're mates, you know, just the same as you, Michael. Where it's and we've got to get his book up more. We've got to push hard for that. Because Preston Acevedo is one of the best talents in all of Comicsgate. So his book needs to do well and he needs to start getting recognized. I tattooed my branding on my ass. That's because you show it to everyone when you're driving along in the back of buses. You damn troublemaking kid. But yeah, as for ladies and gentlemen, as for what's going to happen with my show, I'm trying to think of how to say this delicately.
I don't think you do delicately, Liam.
I don't really do delicately, can you tell? You know? I no longer have faith in other people.
Thank God.
I will say that. Okay?
People? Which people?
In other people.
Okay.
Other people. Pretty much anyone other than myself. So, which sounds...
You're like, don't trust anyone.
Yeah, so... I don't trust people to act like reasonable adults at this point. And I don't think that publicly trying to help people with things is actually a good use of my time. Since being away, I finished 2 books. I'm about to finish the 3rd. I've been incredibly productive. And what was going into my show, like people are saying I had a mental breakdown and stuff. And I'm like, that's not what happened. What happened was I lost faith in humanity, which is arguably worse in my opinion. I thought the Comicsgate was a place where like-minded people were gathering together to essentially help the fans, you know, and create an alternative place for them where they would have somewhere where they wouldn't be persecuted and where they could find the stories that they wanted, and we could, you know, work to rebuilding the comic book medium. And I've chased away Baby Killer Bancroft, but
that's okay. He's around.
But
he'll be back.
Yeah, but I got to the point where I sort of realized that's just not really that's not really going to happen. The people, most other people don't really care about that, and when they're fighting, they like to fight. That's the reality. It's like they like arguing, they like fighting with each other. So the idea that I could sort of resolve things publicly like I had privately with other people and have us all get along, it's just gone. I don't think that I can achieve that. And if I can't achieve that, then what's the point of me doing the show? right? Like, what's the point? Like,
Yeah,
it might be
unless
entertaining
that's
to
what
other
you
people.
really wanted to do.
It wasn't ever really what I wanted to do. I never wanted to like have a drama show. That was never what I wanted. I wanted to just be able to get to know the customers and everything, right?
You had a call
and
sorry.
Yeah. Horace says, no, it's a place where fans help the creators. Well, I mean, we all sort of help each other, I think, Horace. You know, thanks, Chaotic Neutral. You know, we produce the product for the fans, and we have an obligation to sort of serve them and take care of them and provide them with the content and quality, the quality that they want, the entertainment that they're looking for. And in exchange, they give us their money. You know, that's what I thought we were doing. But as things went on, I started to catch the blame for everything, right? So it wasn't these two people screaming at each other and me trying to go like, hey, I've known you for like 2 years. I've known you for like a year and a half. Let's talk and work it out. It became Liam's a drama farmer. Liam's trying to cause problems. And it's just like...
Liam's an instigator.
Exactly. Liam's an instigator.
The other day.
Yeah, Liam's an instigator, exactly. When it's like, okay, Liam's an instigator if you ignore like a year and a half of build-up that's been between these two people, you know? And it eventually got to the point where I was giving up, you know the time, like the stream's midnight for me, right?
Yeah,
so imagine living a life where you wake up, you know, at 6 a.m, then go through your day, and then you've got a stream at midnight, which is meant to go for an hour and ends up going for 3. So you're getting like 3 hours of sleep and then having to nap. It's just not a viable system. So when I do come back, I'm going to be on a more stable schedule for myself that will revolve around myself rather than trying to be present for everyone else all the time.
Well,
and I'm just going to be taking care of myself.
Take a page out of Bancroft's manual here. I mean, like, he does an hour every single day, and he talks about the things that he wants to talk about, and he doesn't get derailed. I mean, he has the people on that are in line with his own way of thinking. And I mean, even though like I would gladly go into any type of topic, I know that this show is specifically for promoting the comics that Comicsgate is bringing up, and the things that you're talking about, Liam. You know, that you don't have faith in people. You thought that this community was for specific things. Well, those things are here. So
those things are represented in my actions and by my actions and what I do going forward, and that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm not going to expect it from anyone else. That's where I went wrong. Where I went wrong was I thinking we were all in this together, and I now very much understand that we're not. We're just, some of us are friends, some of us aren't, you know?
So I would actually disagree with you. And I understand that you have a lot of history now with other people that it persuades you to feel the way that you feel. However, I mean, I am friends with Xevious and Buddy Lord, and I'm friends with people in War Campaign, and I'm friends with people that would that follow Ethan, and I'm friends with Michael, and I'm friends with I wouldn't say I'm friends with Oz, but I mean, we have we're not enemies, and I feel as though there is a way forward and there is bridges that we can make. And I understand that there's a lot of people out there who are hurt, they're battered, bruised, and contused. But you know what? That's what Comicsgate formed from. That's where we came from. There was a plethora of mainstream artists and people who were telling us that we are, you know, all these ists and phobes. And we came together because of the abuse that we were suffering from the mainstream. And even though we come from different mindsets and different personalities, there's still room for all of us here in Comicsgate, and there's room for us to find people.
I'm sure there's room for everyone.
There's room for us to connect in ways that are meaningful, that are helpful. And even though there will be squabbling, there will be fights, there will be shining moments as well along the way. There will be better things. There is more amazing things ahead of us than horrible things around us. And I don't think that we ever need to let go of the potential and the hope of what Comicsgate is, because that is the reason that we're here.
I appreciate and understand your sentiment. I don't disagree with everything that you've said, but we currently have a political climate wherein it is more advantageous to make enemies and to stoke the fires of controversy than it is to form lasting and sincere friendships and profitable work relationships.
I know what you're saying. I'm nipples deep in it right now.
Mm-hmm. So it's something that I feel is something that I don't believe that there is an actual solution to. Is the reality of it. So I've had time away, away from the internet to just sort of focus on myself and
which is important.
And think through.
Yeah.
How you doing, Changus? It's good to see you, buddy.
I think it's important. I think what you're saying is important. I think we do need to take time.
I'd given my whole life to Comicsgate, from the moment I woke up till the moment
you were
I went
like
to sleep.
in under your head in Comicsgate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I just thought, and I thought, if I'm not going to do it, who is? And the answer is no one. And the answer is I can't do it. And so it can't be done.
Mm-hmm.
So people aren't going to like this, aren't going to like what I'm going to say. I've been told not to say it, but I've always been straight with you guys. But on the current trajectory, you can talk to Artsy Bear about this too, because I'm sure he'll give you a nice history recap. But on the path that we have currently chosen to pursue, we will go down the path of image. We will be irrelevant within the next 2 or 3 years, along with the decline of the comic book industry. That is the path that we have chosen to pursue, because we have chosen conflict and short-term reward over long-term building. My goal going forward is to support the creators that I truly believe in, to support the fans that I believe are sincere, to provide them with the best quality product I can, and make Conquest Comics the most viable business I can going forward. Any attempts that I had previously made to befriend people are now off the table.
I hope we can still be friends, Liam. I know we don't really know each other. I hope we can be friends.
Yeah. It does make it. It does make it hard. You've never done anything wrong by me, Bendito. But for instance, Dr. Wright, Buddy Lord, that you said that you were friends with.
I know.
He has antagonized me.
Yeah.
He's antagonized me quite a bit for no other reason. And you'll find that a lot of people, as you start to get bigger, essentially will try to stir conflict with you to grow from you. And it's like, what's the point of actually, trying to get along with people when they want to feed on you? They don't actually want to. I would build other people up. I built up Bancroft. I love Bancroft. I built up plenty of people. That's what I thought this was all about. But other people, they don't want to build other people up, and they don't want to get built up. They want to step onto other people and move on. They don't care about genuine friendships. They don't care about, friendly rivalry. They don't care about, coming together to provide a place that the disenfranchised people have to actually belong. Instead, what they want to do is they want to win. They want to win at any cost, and winning at any cost will create a corporate culture that cannot survive and will result in the cannibalism of our entire market, exactly as Gamergate did before. That is the path that we're heading if there is not going to be a course correction.
Hey, I get what you're saying, and I think that I have a personal saying where my ambition doesn't come at the expense of someone else, or purposely come at the expense of someone else. But I know I sound like some naive first timer.
I hear you, man.
But as a young man of 42, I own my own company. I've had to deal with multi-million-dollar companies try to push me out, especially during this whole COVID thing, and I understand that you're never safe if you think you're safe. So if you think that you're safe, you're never going to be in a position where you can be successful because someone else is going to come by and take it. There's always going to be people who are opportunistic. There's always going to be people whose ambition, they want it at your expense. But we can be wise as serpents and gentle as doves, and we can move forward, and we can ensure that what makes Comicsgate great, the interaction of creators and fans, can still be a positive thing.
Yeah, it's definitely the interaction between creators and fans is a good thing. I wholeheart. I doubt you'll find anyone who believes in the principles or tenets of Comicsgate more than I do.
I would not suggest
so. And I'm not saying Comicsgate is dead. I'm saying that the current trajectory that we are on is a dead end. And I'm here to build towards long-term success. Because of the realities
what can
of
we
that,
do, Liam, to course correct to long-term success, in your opinion?
My show was my greatest effort to course correct, and it ultimately resulted in a colossal failure. People are saying, Liam, you owe your success to the drama shows, or this. Look at, you got big because of drama, and they're wondering why, Liam. Liam, why would you be trying to shed viewers? Why would you be saying these controversial things? It's because I've always tried to serve the people within the community, and I've always tried to speak truthfully and honestly. And there's a bit of revisionist history there when they say that the drama shows what really sold my book, because they statistically they did not. Most of my sales were from long before the channel blew up. In fact, the channel actually did surprisingly little to sell me books. When I do streams, I don't really sell that much. So it's that's the reality of it. As for what we can do, it sounds really cliche, guys, but be excellent to one another, be good to one another, you know, try and be good people. We're meant to be the good guys at the end of the day. There is such a thing as ethical business, you know, as ethical capitalism. And I believe that, you know, we have a responsibility, if we want to keep this medium alive and healthy and get it back strong, to be considerate and understanding of our competition and the climate we exist in. Especially within Comicsgate, a reality check is needed. We are less than 1% of the entire comic book market share in an industry that is in near collapse and death as we speak. So why are we fighting with each other, looking for excuses to stab each other in the back, trying to steal each other's talent, trying to make mockeries of other people in the community, when our enemy is a colossal force, and we are constantly treading water not to drown as it is. You know, it is.
And we're supposed to be the high tide.
Exactly. And we have the talent. We have the ability to do it. We have the proficiency.
The well goes deep. Yeah.
So,
you know,
going forward, my obligation is to Conquest and the backers of Conquest Comics, and that's where my concern ends.
Yeah. Hey, Liam, if you're ready.
Yeah, of course.
My backing of Xenotype, first day, I enjoyed your videos that were on before it opened. I believe that the controversial videos didn't start till after it opened, if I'm not mistaken. And if you use my pseudonym all you want to say, no, here's one example that success in Xenotype had nothing to do with the drama. It was all the quality of the book.
Well, and I don't know how far back you want to go.
I don't know anyone who would buy a book on drama anyway. I mean, is that a thing that people would do?
It's a stupid accusation.
Yeah. I know. I was just thinking what you were just saying there, Liam. I always wonder, with like the Republicans and Trump in the States, right? What's going to happen when Trump is either voted out or is reelected and runs his term? What happens to the Republicans after that? Will they even continue on the party because Trump was that massive thing? And I always kind of think, what is Comicsgate without Ethan? He's like got the lion's share of all of the the backers and everything. And like, what if he, for whatever reason, wasn't producing? Would CG be able to continue on? Is there enough momentum among everyone else to continue on the movement or whatever it is, the network? And if that is the case, that it isn't, that is a real issue. It can't all be hinged on one guy and his show and everyone sort of orbiting around that. There has to be a ground game.
Are we creating a viable economic model, or are we currently building a fad or a trend? Are we essentially recreating the 1990s speculator bubble, except for a limited collector's market, or are we attempting to build an alternate path that creators can follow and customers can rely on to provide them with content they cannot otherwise achieve in a corrupt and decadent mainstream? What are our obligations? What are our goals and our agendas here? How much thought are we actually putting into what we're doing going forward? These are the questions I think that we need to ask ourselves as creators and customers. Because if we are a fad, if we are a trend, then you need to only look to online communities again, like Gamergate, like the skeptics, and to see what ultimately happens. There's a lot of money there for a short time, but do you want to build something enduring, like, for instance, Cinemassacre, James Rolfe, where you're providing quality entertainment through an independent market for over a decade? Or do you want to have a short, explosive cash grab where at the end there's a bunch of bodies lying around and shame? I know the path that I'm
into cringe and laughing stocks and yeah, a few people were able to just through talent and hard work, and because they were kind of the big names in the industry anyway, like Sargon, was able to pivot. And do something else, and a couple of other guys were able to sort of do that as well. But yeah, it all did crumble into ludicrous, ridiculousness, and that's a good point. That's a good point.
I think it's all those things. I don't think we can get away from any of them. I think that there are going to be creators that come in and they are just trendy. They do 2 or 3 books and then they disappear. And I think that there are going to be people who come in and they start up a lot of drama, and it's going to cause problems moving forward. I think all of the things that you said are equally true of what Comicsgate is. And it's because nobody is in control. Like, it's not an organization. It's not a company, from the top down. And everyone that comes in brings with them their creativity, their talent, and their baggage. So they're coming in not as this pure, spanking new, white as the driven snow creator. They're coming in with their history. They're coming in with the way that they deal with things, and they're coming in with their tolerances, and they're coming in with whatever it is that makes them successful and has made them fail in the past. So Comicsgate isn't just the sum of all its positives, it's also the sum of all its negatives. And there needs to be, as far as I look at it, the only reason I can interact with Comicsgate is because I'm accepting of the fact that there are flaws. And I don't think that you can create a network of people without accepting the fact that there are going to be flaws.
Yeah, exactly. People are flawed, and we're dealing with, and I mean this with the utmost respect, but we're dealing with outsiders and outcasts and the fringe. We need to remember what the comics book community was. Now, imagine that you've got sort of a cringe, what we'll call a cult, in the same way I'll use cult movie rather than cult, sort of the movement, We've got a cult community, people that like this one little niche that is ever shrinking, and we are a niche of a niche. We are essentially a bunch of passionate investors that are looking to push back against the decay that mainstream comics has undergone, and we either do that by investing in things that we think are superior quality product to stick it to the mainstream, and to get the entertainment we want, perhaps more important, I would argue, or we are people that are creating it to do the same, to eventually, blaze a path so that we can, through our own companies, essentially have support to continue to produce product that people want. But at the end of the day, and I've said this before, and I don't mean it to stir controversy either, but are the comic books we are producing superior to the T-shirt that Sargon sells? Sorry, is it any different to selling bath water? What are we? Are we comic book creators creating comic books that are done to honor a legacy nearly 100 years long, to innovate new ideas and create lasting continuities and stories, to push the bounds of art, to carry on traditions and techniques developed over 100 years through Americana? Or are we just here to make a bit of money while we can before everything dies and laugh while we're doing it?
Well, I'm here to be a part of a community that, as a battered, bruised, and contused member, that I found refuge from the mainstream. So first and foremost, that's the reason I'm here in Comicsgate. Second of all, as a creative person, I want to be able to develop something that other people can, attach themselves to, that they want to say, hey, this is something cool. I want to be a part of this. Now, in both of those things, I'm going to nurture and bring around the people in the community that benefits all of us inclusively, because that's how I am. As holistically as I can, I want everyone to be a part of what is happening around me. But I can't, that doesn't include EVS, because I don't know, as far as I know, if I interact with EVS, I'm not going to have that environment with him. So it really does come down to the people that, I can honestly say, people like Bancroft, people like Blue, people like Poland, these guys who I can say, hey, let's hang out. And they're like, yeah, let's talk about comics. And we're all on the same page. And when someone's not on the same page, I don't have a problem saying, hey, man, this is where we're at right now. How do you feel about that? And if they say they disagree, I'm just like, okay, does that mean that we have a path forward? If we have a path forward, we have to come to an agreement. So, and sometimes that's going to cause friction, and sometimes that's going to cause rifts. But you can only deal with the community and the people around you and the people in front of you based upon where you're at that time. And sometimes you do have to go separate ways. And sometimes it's going to work out, and sometimes it's not. Relationships are tough. We don't do it very well.
I think that people don't like assholes, right? I know it's pretty revolutionary, but I think that I think that a big part of Comicsgate is largely made up of people that are tired of fakes and assholes. Just earlier, I was called two-faced when I've probably been, honestly, the most transparent person in the community, to the point of I've been humiliated. But I've been honest with people. But it's interesting that these narratives that get passed around and these sort of way that they want to sort of represent people. I believed in an ideal where I saw Comicsgate once upon a time. I think I've even said this to you, Bancroft, before. I've said, I see it as we're building up a big tent city outside, right? And I'd always sort of thought, and I always thought when the mainstream collapses, we're going to get an influx of people, and it's our responsibility, because I truthfully feel that we have a responsibility to the community and the industry and the art form itself, which I think is a higher calling. As idealistic and naive as that was, I believe that it's our responsibility to then rebuild from the ground up. No one talks about how we came back from the 90s. No one talks about how we came back from the speculator bubble or what had to be done. And that would be a very interesting conversation with Art and the others who went through it. But it wasn't easy going, but we got there.
Liam,
it was never
I just wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Jim Cox has a comment here about saying how YouTube is part of the product, like it or not. If comic books could survive on the published art alone, the industry would not be dying. I know you say you didn't enjoy, and we could see it on your face, the drama and infighting that found itself to your stream. But did you enjoy the other moments? Remember, what we used to do before, when we would have Carla and I came on, and then.
Yes.
Yeah, because
I enjoyed those things.
I really could tell that.
And I enjoyed talking to the chat, truthfully. As for Jim Cox saying that the industry cannot survive on the merit of its product, I disagree with you. I disagree with you vehemently on that. I think that it is negligent on our behalf to ignore the massive decline in quality and how we have abandoned what made comic books sell and what made comic books work in the past. Let's talk about a shift real quick.
Go on.
But what you said there was if comic books could survive on the published art alone, if they could.
I believe they can. I believe they can, and it is in fact the quality that is the result in the lack of sales. It's a two-pronged deficiency, which is the mainstream market essentially shifted comic books away from children. I'm not saying that everything needs to be written like 1974 Superman, but I am saying that the fact that they are not readily available to children at affordable prices, and the fact that they ultimately have allowed story and art to atrophy to incredible lengths. Now we have some incredibly talented artists, some easily better than have come before, but these are people that cannot produce consistent runs because they spend so long producing each book. Meanwhile, Japan has people with arguably comparable art, right? And they're able to produce weekly titles. Yet on the West, we don't push ourselves that hard. We don't try as hard. We've got lazy and complacent, and we've become more focused on con culture, convention culture, than we have the quality. We threw out the writing Bibles. We neglected our fan base. We said we're only selling to 40-year-old men, so what's it matter? And then, when they started spitting in the faces of 40-year-old men and they stopped dropping their subscriptions and walking away, what did we do? We blamed it on sexism. We blamed it on racism. If we address these issues, if we find a way of conquering distribution, finding a way back into the mainstream market, delivering reliable, steady product, and at a consistent rate, then we will be able to revive the comic book industry, and we will be able to find new entertainment. We will become the next mainstream.
Yeah, I 100% agree with what you're saying.
But this is the reality of it, and because people will buy what is good. People saying there's no hope for the comic book industry for the printed medium are expressly ignoring that the current sales within the manga industry are 10 times greater than that of the comic book market. Why is that?
But Liam, did manga have a 30-year period of non-stop downward the quality is getting worse and worse, and them getting overrun by SJWs pushing all the normies out? So that's what we're trying to, when you say rebuild it, like we've got to work with rubble now.
Yeah.
And everyone's being chased away, and we've got to convince them to come back. Whereas the manga, they didn't have that. They weren't overrun by parasites who were and tearing the whole thing down.
No, but do you know why? Do you know why manga blew up in the 90s?
Why?
Because it was cheap.
Because it was forbidden.
Oh.
Because it was too dark and edgy and bad. And don't you be watching those Japanese cartoons, that Jap animation, right? And when that happened, the teenagers came. Because we became heavy metal, we became punk rock, we became forbidden, right? And the anime industry blew up. Comicsgate's the exact same thing. There is no reason that we are literally the bad boys.
We just couldn't get our hands on it.
You couldn't really get your hands on it.
Yeah.
But there was a huge cultural pushback against Dungeons and Dragons, against the whole culture, and it all spiraled into an explosion. Because when you tell someone they can't have something, especially when you tell young teenagers this is bad, and when you push convention, you attract young readers. If we can attract young readers again, that's the key to all of this. Lord Crackhead 33 says, art alone is not enough to sustain Comicsgate. We need YouTube. It's a marketing tool. Without it, nobody's going to see the great art. I don't disagree with you. But we have to find a way of producing YouTube content that is advantageous to the movement as a whole and is not going to cannibalize itself, so that only a few survive while the rest of the community ultimately collapses in upon itself.
And as well, I mean, look what's happening on Facebook and Twitter. I mean, YouTube could go away at any moment.
Yes.
Who knows? These people running these companies are becoming more and more fanatical.
Antonio Dennison, when I quote the 10 times greater, Antoine, sorry. I'm actually referring exclusively to the Western market the sales of anime within the
Sales
Western
here.
and manga.
Yeah.
Sorry, and manga within the Western market. That is how superior they are currently. Pretty much all kids read manga. On top of that, it's black and white. It's easy to produce. Don't back Lucin or Xenotype. Please your parents. Yeah, exactly. So right now, where Comicsgate itself is still appealing to a 40-year-old collector's market, which is the same mistake that the mainstream ultimately made. Because of the failures of the mainstream, we are a sustainable business system for the time being as people invest, because their dollar is not, for a lot of people you'll find, and feel free to ask this around, they're not just investing in you or me because they really want our books, which is ideal, but it's because they're giving their hope. Their money is their time and is their hope for change, right? So if we can't ultimately provide the change that they want, they're going to become more disillusioned. If we can't have regularly scheduled releases to keep them engaged, we have no chance, right? These are just certain realities that we have to face within Comicsgate. 1 or 2 books isn't enough. Like, it's not. We need to be releasing a large quantity of books that are good from a wide range of creators. That's the only way that it can be done, and holding the interest.
But when you
of
say
the
1 or
fans.
2 books, that's per creator.
Yes. Yes.
Imagine if, like, this time next year, just picture this: double the amount of people, double the amount of creators in CG, and now all of a sudden there could be at any given moment 50, let's say like 50 books to buy in CG. Sorry, I don't know if I just cut out then.
No, I know, and I agree. That's what needs to work. That's the reason that which brings me back to my point. That's the reason that I fought so hard to bring us all back together. Because for this to work, we need to make a unified effort.
Well,
Since
Liam,
that
do not give up the fight, because when I look at what Bancroft has been doing, all the things that you're talking about, like there isn't a single beat that you're talking about that hasn't been utilized or shown in just this show. And his show is growing, his book is doing quite well, and he has not caused any drama or any rifts. And he has had people both from War Campaign and from the larger CG on the show, and it's open to everybody. And the chat stays super friendly.
All it takes is for one of the bigger creators to think, man, I need some new content, and say one bad thing about Bancroft, and everything he's built will turn into what I had built.
Potentially.
That's exactly what will happen. That was exactly what will happen. His chat will turn into a war zone. He will be put onto a side. He'll be assigned a conscription number and stamped, and enemies will emerge, and he will have to face them and fight them and defend his brand and defend his book from something that could be completely fabricated or just a joke that people took seriously. This is the current volatile nature of the environment we are within.
There is that dynamic, absolutely. I don't think that means that Bancroft needs to change what he's doing, and I think that.
But I'm just saying that is a serious issue that we face within this system. The fact that you can build something up for a year and then be completely annihilated by the statement of 1 or 2 people that I just think they're being funny, that they don't regard the content or history of your character or what you're trying to produce, or even the quality of your book. It can be easily assassinated based on they just didn't have content that week, so they just thought, let's go. There's no loyalty here. There is actually no loyalty.
There is. It's just that you have to surround yourself with the right people to do so. I mean, Oz,
exactly.
You and Oz are super loyal to each other. I mean, I don't think you're ever going to find a rift between the two of you. I don't think anyone here, Blue, myself, or Poland, is ever going to turn on Bancroft. I mean, there will be a time when we need to kick him out because we are the entertainment. But until that time, it's going to be a sweet ride. And but what I'm saying is, those people are here. Our chat is fantastic. Like we have an amazingly positive chat, and there's people who are War Campaign and from the larger CG who do not agree. And they're both here, and nobody fights and nobody gets upset. And Bancroft it's 100% on Michael. he has created the atmosphere for this channel. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't going to be storms along the way, but that doesn't mean that we can't be active participants in getting through them as well. And I know that like your channel, you were dialed up to 10, man. You're dialed up to 15. Like with everyone that was coming on there, you took more blows than anybody else in CG as far as someone who's just like, hey, I'm doing my show. These guys came on and they erupted, right? Yeah. So you have taken more damage than a lot of the other shows that are out there. Keep that in mind, that you are in a different position than most of the people in Comicsgate. And I genuinely, on my own show, I'm getting tons of people who are saying, thank goodness you're saying what you're saying, because you're not the only one. There are so many people that are not on the polar ends of this debate and or on the opposing sides. And it's going to take time, but we will make fences, good neighbor fences that people need to just respect and be on their own side, and we will build bridges where we can. Do not lose hope. I believe in CG. I believe in the people. I believe in the chat. I believe in this fan-based movement that's filled with battered, bruised, and contused people who are simply saying, we don't need to do it to each other. And I genuinely believe that is what is going to surface in all of this.
And CG needs Liam Gray.
And CG needs Liam Gray.
And your knowledge. And you are bang on exactly right when it comes to getting more kids involved in this. Like, why do I still have all this here? I got this is some of them. This is a pile.
Are we working? Are we working towards?
All these years? These are from '93. This is me, 13-year-old Michael. Like, read through these 10 times each. That's how passion.
We seem to be of the mind. We seem to be of the mindset. And this is something that has been in the mainstream for a very long time. But we are of the mindset that kids don't read comics anymore. They're not interested in them anymore. Well,
not my kids.
That's our fault.
My kids are digging through all the old stuff, but they don't like the new stuff.
Yeah, but that's our fault, because from art to story structure, we have neglected the lessons that came before and attempted to create monuments of narcissism in the guise of superhero books. It is ultimately flawed. Okay, my goal from the beginning of Comicsgate, before it was even called Comicsgate, when I first decided, all right, I looked at the nepotism, I looked at the corruption, I looked at the mentalities of the people involved within the mainstream industry, and I said, there is an issue here. They've become embroiled within celebrity sort of. They're sycophants. Okay, they're sycophants. They're all having sex with one another. Half of them are drug addicts. Why are these people telling stories about the next generation of heroes? And then you watch as the things decline, because everyone chases fame, everyone chases celebrity. We had a market where we were fundamentally chasing the dollar. That is not a viable way of making money. You need to be the dollar. You need to make the thing that people want to buy. You can't be constantly running after it, constantly chasing fads, because you get tired, everything gets tired, and you eventually fall on your face. You need to be that dollar shooting ahead of everyone else. That's what Comicsgate needs to be. It needs to be cool, which means we need to make sure that we produce product that makes people go, holy shit, that's awesome. I want to buy that. That means maybe your first cover, your second cover, your third cover, maybe it's not good enough. Do it again. Maybe your story, it's not good enough. Do it again. You have a responsibility now. It is more competitive than ever. We exist in a market where there is YouTube, where there are Netflix, where people are inundated and their time is limited. The average attention span is 6.5 seconds long, which means we have to push that rock uphill and make shit that is better than everything that came before. That is the only way that we can succeed. And it can be done because the Eastern market is doing it. we have no excuse other than our own deficiencies for failing to do so.
And to a lesser extent, the European market is also doing it in their own way as well. Slightly differently. They're actually doing more of a CG style model. But yeah, I mean, the quality of stuff there, and it's so amazing how it doesn't really mix in with Western Anglo market. Is blowing like what Marvel is putting out of the water. I mean, I couldn't agree.
And when I asked Odie about it, because he's Greek, he told me that those things were not uncommon to see at newsstands or at libraries.
No, that's this is how I found this. This was at a supermarket. This is sold next to
spinach.
No,
you can get rubber boots, spinach, and comics
next
books
to
all in the same
shampoo.
shop.
Next to shampoo.
And there were heaps of them.
So why is it that we have restrained ourselves to the comic book store, which is dying? Why are even now we are direct to the customer? We're direct to the customer, and that's a big part of why Comicsgate works. That works fantastic for the big guys that can guarantee 1,000 sales. But I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter how well your book's doing, and this is a pretty sour fruit people going to want to hear. If you don't have 1,000 backers, you can't do this long term. That should be everyone's goal. That should be everyone's goal. You know, that's the reality of it. Now, maybe you can build up to that over time. You need to get 1,000, and you might be able to make money here or there. But do you really want to be someone that's eating ramen noodles into their late 50s and has nothing to pass along to their children, or do you want to be producing things with a hardcore fan base behind you that will show up and turn out? And do you want to be able to market this so that you can expand into other markets, so you can make action figures, so that you can make animated series, so that you can expand into the mainstream market, so that people that aren't going to type in your product can find your product? Because buying ads won't work because no one gives a fuck. Most people use ad block. You know, putting your comic in the back of other comics, that's not really going to work anymore because there's not enough circulation. Advertising in magazines specifically for comic book buyers, probably your best shot, but their distribution is even lower than other products. What are you going to do? You're going to sell it on YouTube, which means, I don't know, you're going to make Spider-Man Elsa videos and get kids that way? That's not going to sell them books.
They need to use kumquat perks, just like
they got to be
like
present,
Jeremy says,
so that comic books can be impulse purchases like candy. That's how you win. If we can't do it, we can't win.
Well, I've been saying. Well, go ahead.
Making a lot of sense, Liam.
Something I wanted to bring up before. You were talking about, is this going to be a fad or is this going to be long term? And you phrased it a certain way, but part of and you guys discussed it in terms of creators. The other side of that is this: are people coming to Comicsgate as a flash in the pan fad as buyers, where for them it's just something cool for the moment as a buyer? And I know that there are creators whose books I'm going to try to support as long term as possible, even if the big image collapse is coming. I want to push, certain titles. Which, yes, I don't mean to be sycophantic, but yes, it includes yours and Micah's, and and things like that. So I hope it can be long term, and I don't wish to declare any of the other people the other creators who might not be around to be chaff, but because of how buyers might approach it as a fad, it might just end up being that way. Some buyers I know are approaching it more long term, so it's not just about the creators, and we can't read all of their minds.
Planet Tobor says, my friend and I have been talking about starting a vending machine business, putting them in places where you can get them a point of sale before humans free. That is exciting to me. That's interesting to me. Like those little gumball machines where kids always want to get cool little toys out of them that you see in the mall. Yeah, that's definitely, if you can do it, do it. That's the sort of thing that I'm talking about. They need to be somewhere that people can see it. Now, as for what you're saying, Blue Samurai, I agree. And I truthfully and sincerely appreciate your support. I don't think you're a sycophant at all. But now let's talk about trust, right? Yeah.
Go ahead.
let's talk about trust, right? So right now we're currently making money. We're currently doing rather well in an industry where the artist has been exploited for pretty much about 3 decades at this point. They're used to not having a lot of money. Most of their money comes from celebrity appearances, autographs, and conventions, which is why you'll notice that the shift for many creators is the exhausting trudge through the convention market, and why when you sit down to privately speak with comic book pros, they'll often more be interested in talking about convention dynamics than they will their product. Now, essentially, we're going to have a huge influx of mainstream creators probably within the next 6 months at most. Okay, these are people that will be able to command massive 6-figure campaigns again, like Dan Fraggers. Okay, these are people that are going to come in and they're going to be rock stars.
Maybe.
Definitely. Now, when that occurs, and if I'm wrong, I'm so sorry, but I'm never wrong about these things. Now, when they come in, we run a massive risk of what I'm calling the disillusionment wave. Right now, with the splinter off of War Campaign and the way things have recently been, there is a tension and animosity on both sides of Comicsgate. Like there has never been greater than there was with Doug TenNapel or Smiller or anything before that no one is sort of addressing. There are people who are big spenders that have been shoved off to the side, and because they were big spenders, they feel especially slighted by people who they supported for many years when no one else was really around to support them. So they don't just feel betrayed, they feel extra betrayed.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, you've got people that have been whipped into a frenzy and are angry at them, often not having clear vision of what's going on. So you currently have this tumultuous, splintered sort of fan group that is very volatile, and everyone's fighting to defend their guy. Do you like Fragger? Do you like Ethan? Do you like Cecil? Do you like Ro Kabir? Who do you like? Because whoever camp you're in, whoever is your guy, depends on what's going to be the sort of the dynamic. So and let me get back to my point. So when these guys come in, right, these new guys come in, not all of them are going to stay faithful or loyal to the ideals of Comicsgate or really understand it. They're going to look and go, yeah, I'll say whatever I need to say to make money.
Yeah,
I want that money.
Or
and they're going to get.
They're not even.
They're going to get a lot of. They're going to get a lot of money.
They're going to give all of crowdfunding a bad name because they'll fail.
And they'll get their money. And you've got to remember that these legends like Rob Liefeld, have currently had a book out I think it's like 3 or 4 years that they've had their book funded and they still haven't produced and delivered it. These kind of individuals are going to come into Comicsgate and that will be the death nail. Mark my words. When these people come in, and I'm not saying don't embrace them. Embrace whoever you want to spend your dollar on. But should the following occur, this is the end of it, right? So should they come in and they betray people like Smiller and like Doug did?
Mm-hmm.
The last of the people that are here, including a lot of the people they bring in, which won't be as big of an influx as everyone's hoping that it will be, will ultimately just go, this is gay and doesn't work. And why am I spending this much money on this? And that will be the final.
It'll Kickstarter everything. So that's what happens.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what's going to, and that's the future that we have driven ourselves towards.
Okay, Liam.
Pardon me, Antoine Dennison. Yeah, I meant not fail the campaign, like they don't get funded. I meant they won't fulfill. They'll break that trust, which is what Liam was talking about.
Okay, so
before
you keep going, sorry, I'm going to interrupt because there's a couple things to unpack with what you said, Liam. First of all, there's the fans' reaction, and then there's creators' reaction. So for the fans' reaction, pros coming in, I think we should encourage it to just be business as usual. So for the fans, with all the pros that are coming in, we just say, hey, this is good for the fan base, because it is. I mean, the more talent and the more people that come in, the more, and when they come from the mainstream, they're bringing people with them. So for the fans, it's just be welcoming. Let these guys come in. Let them make their mistakes. If they're going to make the mistakes, they're going to make the mistakes. But if they're successful, I mean, Dan Fraga he's brought a good book to all signs point to it being a really good book. Why would we want to keep that from the fans?
You don't. And you don't want to keep anyone out. I'm just telling you the unfortunate
that's the one
reality of what's happening.
Okay, but we're talking about the reality of what's happening. I'm saying that's the reality of for the fans. Just the pros want to come in, let them come in. For the creators, though, we have a different response simply because, now this is competition. Competition, we should never look at as being a bad thing, but we do need to understand how we need to respond to it. And if we do start saying we don't want these creators to come in, if we do start saying we don't want these
I never said that. I never said
if we do start saying that they're going to cause problems before they're even here, we are causing the storm. We are creating the storm because we're the ones, we're getting ready for them we're buttoning down the hatches, and we are ready for like this tidal wave to come and wash us away, when it's like, you know what, bitch, we're established. We're already here, right? We do have our shows. We do have people that enjoy our content. We do have our books that are out, and we will continue to do exactly what we do, and we'll get the exact same response based upon how we act towards the fans. And so when it comes to what you're saying, yes, I genuinely believe that there can be a problem with pros coming in, but I'm not going to say to them, you're causing problems. I'm going to say, come on in, do your thing. If you do cause problems, I'm not going to support you, right? But if you're here to do whatever it is you want to do and the fan base likes what you're doing, I'm going to support the fan base supporting you. And that's all we need to worry about. That's the only thing that we as creators need to concern ourselves with, more people coming in to create books.
Yeah, and I embrace everyone who wants to come in, besides NASA. Have fun here. But we're talking big pros, and with big pros comes big expectations, big dreams, and big disappointments. And that's what I believe will spawn the disillusionment wave, which will be the final sort of tidal blow that Comicsgate can endure. That is my prediction.
Okay. Well, I genuinely hope that's not the case, and I will.
So do I. I do not wish for this to be the case. Yeah. I do not wish for this to be the case. But, I mean, what was it Ethan Van Sciver said just yesterday or today, or whatever it was, on Twitter? I read. He's like, "Why is everyone in comics crazy?
Why are crazy people all in comics?"
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to be letting in a bunch of more crazy people and giving them a lot of money and hoping that crazy people can fix what was on its way to being fixed. And now it's a mess.
If the speculation comes true, where my own speculation is that these mainstream pros will come into crowdfunding. Notice I didn't say Comicsgate; I said crowdfunding.
Yeah, crowdfunding. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll come into crowdfunding near Comicsgate, kind of like I almost said Sean T. Bear. That's totally wrong. Got Plot Holes guy, almost kind of like Plot Holes guy did. He's got his 6 figures, but if they give crowdfunding a bad name, that will affect Comicsgate. And it all depends on the integrity of the creators to say, nope, we're still here. That bad name doesn't apply to us. And, that's an uphill battle we don't want to wish on the creators.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. But for myself, I just want to focus on my own stuff at this point. After giving it a lot of thought and looking at how things were received and what happened with me, and realizing that the more cooks you add to the kitchen, the worse the broth. Mm-hmm. When that sort of happened, I decided I think I'm gonna make my own stew. I think I'm gonna I might not be able to make as many servings, but I'm gonna make a damn good stew, and that's something I do have control over.
Liam,
that's something
I'm really very happy to hear you say that. I just think your motto has always been be the change that you want to see. Yeah. And with you able to focus on Xenotype and whatever other projects you're working on, and you've got your tight knit team with guys that you do trust and have proven their talent.
And we produce some of the best art in all of Comicsgate faster than anyone else in Comicsgate. And as soon as we fulfill, we will have 2 more finished projects that we can immediately launch.
Wow!
Already done, chambered. Gentlemen,
see, and that's what I think. That's
You're making me hungry, Liam.
When I'm being selfish here, not being selfish. I'm trying to I'm happy that that's what we're getting out of you. I don't want to. I want to see Liam, the talented, knowledgeable, passionate comic book creator, bringing out the best stuff that he can as often as he can. doing that rather than Liam, the kind of tired, beaten down, much lied about, and people spreading rumors about you, and you having to go out there and defend yourself. Like that's just that's not helping anyone. That's just wasting time. We need to see you out there
wasting time and
putting stuff out. So I'm really happy to actually hear you say that's what you're going to be doing moving forward.
Yeah, Liam,
and plus, people might not know, like those streams were really fun back in the day.
They were, and that's the reason I wanted to come on here and talk to you and everything. You know what I mean? Because you guys seem like I just tuned in right before I was, sitting down to have a look at Brand, and everyone was looking tired. And so I'm going to come in and talk to Bancroft because I missed talking to you. I think of you guys as my friends, truthfully.
Yep.
It's just I'm sorry that we got into a heavy point of conversation. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but the change starts with the customer, as it always has in Comicsgate. And sitting here quietly about it and people feuding, well, guess what? I can't squash other people's feuds. They want to fight. What I can do is say, hey, customer, I'm not going to be involved in all that stupid shit. I'm doing this here. I'm going to do it better than anyone else. And I'm going to trust that you will continue to be interested in what I'm doing. And I hope that I meet your expectations. That's what I do have. Control over. The cooks each have their own stew to sell. Yeah, well, that's great, except for the cooks that, rather than spending the time making that stew taste really great, want to instead walk around and sort of piss in other people's stews because they don't think that their stew can be quite as good as that guy's stew. So their goal is to piss in that stew rather than spend time cooking their own.
There are some bright, shiny channels, though, in Comicsgate. You look at Wanger's channel, there's no competition, and there's no, as far as I can tell, there isn't any reason to disparage on any of the projects of the people that are on that show.
I love Wanger.
Yeah.
Adam Post, who's a regular on his show, blocked me. That got me kicked out of two of the rooms. Out of two of the rooms. Refused to even speak to me for about 2 weeks prior to that. I'd send him a message going like, hey, let's talk what's going on, because he'd been going around telling everyone that I was intentionally trying to instigate things. So what you guys see and what's really happening, not always the truth.
It's not always the truth.
You should get to know who people actually are. And if someone's always smiling and pretending that they're a happy little chappy, then maybe you should I'll just say this. I think it's very interesting that I got unfollowed by Carla Rowe, Adam Post, and a bunch of others. There was like 3 other creators. One of them I've made amends with, all within the space of the same 5 minutes. And how I've been prevented to have access to any of the networking systems that anyone else has built because Liam's a troublemaker. Liam's a problem. Liam's the pawn across the chessboard.
I genuinely don't understand that line of thinking.
Well, it's because these people can't compete. These people can't compete in quality, and they see me as a threat. Because I'm the best there is. I'm the biggest crowdfunding name in Australia, despite multiple attempts to have that taken away from me by pushing up other people and pushing down others. So that didn't work. And I am the best. I produce work faster, better, and high quality than pretty much anyone else out there. And Conquest is winning and will continue to win in spite of what anyone says or does to me. So when you sort of say, like, Wenger, good guy, always been nice, always been upfront with me. Wenger's crew, I'm not so sure. They smiled in my face and they stabbed me in the back. And that's not the kind of person that I'm going to put a lot of my faith in the future. And that's a big part of the reason that I've decided that going forward, I will be doing things the way that I am, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So
to that, I would always say you should be keeping other businesses at arm's length. And every single creator is another business.
How about I outsell them? How about I outperform them? How about I outdo them and become invaluable and then deny them access to me? How's that sound?
Those go together.
That's not my way, but I understand that you have more.
People who fight dirty shouldn't be given a free pass. People who practice unethical business, who try to impede other people expressly for the purpose of interfering in their business, who try to break their contracts with their talent, who spread malicious lies and misinformation about them to poison other business relationships.
Dude, you're preaching to the choir.
Should not thrive within Comicsgate.
Yeah. Liam, I am in the scummiest industry in the world. The only thing that gets worse than me is drug trafficking.
What do you do?
I'm in the transport industry.
That's interesting. Tell me more about that.
My business, I hire people out to unload trailers at warehouses. These are typically they're the bottom of the barrel, last chance employment type of workers. And, you pay them by the job only. And to find reliable workers, it's only like the top 10%. And it's like, these are the people that are usually homeless that you're employing. They're homeless. They're washed out drug addicts, all that type of stuff. There's no trust, and you're working beside other companies where they are just trying to steal your clients. They show up at the warehouses early, hoping your trailers will be there early so they can go to the driver, get them to pay cash, and steal your work. That's what I deal with every single day.
That's terrible.
Now, I understand when you're battered, bruised, and contused that it doesn't seem like you can build bridges and that you can't make friendly fences. However,
there's no path of dialogue. There's no path of dialogue, you know, and they benefit more from hurting you than they do actually, working alongside you. The only way is to get really big like Ethan is, and then everyone will kiss your ass, and then you can just pick and choose who you're going to actually associate with. That's it.
And there's an aspect to that. Like, that's definitely a strategy that, people can find successful. I would say, though, that you don't want to end up being untruthful to yourself. And I know for myself, I can't act that way. And when I get it, Malin's like, everyone needs to grab an oar. And then some people are like, well, you need to build your own ship. Me personally, I try to be the high tide. And I'm not always successful, but I try to make it so that everyone holistically around me benefits at the same time. And when, they're trying to when there's other people who are trying to drag other creators back or other businesses back, sometimes you gotta cut ties. I do get that. However,
like KB says, man, I'm a weird guy. I'm a weird guy. But being humble has got me stomped on repeatedly for what's about 2 years now. Me actually being emotionally available, vulnerable, honest, and humble has hurt me a significant amount. And I've been very, very humble. I'm the most humble. Yeah. But
we saw it play out on your channel, Liam. Like, your channel was one thing.
I'm gonna close the stream down in about 5 minutes because I really do have to go. So
okay.
Sorry.
Sorry. And plus as well, I've got the internet keeps cutting out. So I'm actually only catching
You're on borrowed time as it is.
I'm only actually catching about I don't know 2/3 of what's actually being discussed here. I keep dropping out.
Yeah, sorry, man.
No, that's all good. It's all good. Look, hey, Liam.
I think 1 second. I do want to address here because KB says boo boo Liam, man. Like, so you understand, man. I'm not like having a cry. What I'm saying is, it is not an effective business move for me to any longer be a peaceful, pacifist, humble, happy Liam, because my enemies have arrayed against me. They have stuck spears in me. They have attempted to damage my company on multiple levels, and they have destroyed a large number of my business relationships within this community. So I will not be taking shit from anyone anymore. Period. I will get lawyers involved if there is a need, right? Because there's grounds for it in a number of cases, and I will be ruthless in going forward.
Well,
I care about protecting my employees. I care about protecting my own interests, and I care about protecting my company and my product. That is what is important to me going forward. I will take care of my fans, the people that back me. They're the people I listen to. I will continue to try and be a happy and positive influence within this community. Mm-hmm. I will no longer be someone that other people can step on. That ship has sailed, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, excuse me, Liam. I'm going to
Yeah,
answer
bud.
KB for you. I've got your back here. He says, don't play victim, take control of your own situation. KB, that is what he's been explaining this entire time that he is doing.
So let's not jump on the chat, because the reality the reality is we're just discussing opinions here. And at some point in time, we have to understand that the way that we present ourselves is always going to affect and is going to be received by different people differently. So when someone says, you know, boo-hoo, Liam, what you're presenting is how they're expressing how they're receiving it. So it's not meant to be an attack. Well, I don't know. I don't believe it's meant to be an attack, but it's the opinions are being vocalized. Now, when as far as everything goes, I know you're trying to wrap it up, Michael. I'll just say this, and then whatever you guys want to say or do, whatever afterwards. Do not lose faith in the fans. Do not, and I mean the fans that are both speaking against you and the fans that you know are in your corner. Do not lose faith in a group of people where all they're really wanting is good content. And I think as long as you, I can agree with that. As long as we're looking to produce good content, I genuinely believe the fans will be there for you. So instead of saying this is how I'm going to do things now, I say, you know what? Let's figure out how we can produce good content. And for my part, Liam, I will never disparage or your character or anything like that, despite the fact that I know people that you don't get along with. So know that.
And this is the thing, though, man. These people that I don't quite get along. This is the repeating pattern. See, this trick seems to be build lies about me.
Don't go down this road, man.
No. Hate me for the lies that you engineer. Tell everyone else that these lies are true to try and poison people against me. Get ass mad when I say, fuck off, I want nothing to do with you. No, thank you. I'm not playing these games anymore. Like I said, I'll just walk away from the internet again. You know,
and
I can.
And I'm saying you don't have to play the games. I'm just saying focus on believing in the fans and make good content.
Yeah, well, that's all I've ever done, and that's one thing I do. Sorry.
Yeah,
Bancroft, I'll let you go. Sorry.
Yeah, I really just did want to. I do have to go back in family stuff, and I did really want to get back to my drawing. So, and plus, I will be streaming a bit more because we're coming up. This is the last 2 days of the campaign, so you'll see me again tomorrow. And thank you guys for sticking it out. Obviously, how the chat. Thank you for coming, for sticking it out. I wasn't planning on going for 3 hours today, but I haven't seen Liam in a while, so always good to have him on.
Really good combo, Liam. I really appreciated this.
It'll be more happy. I'm sorry, Michael. I didn't expect it to go down this route.
It's been a good chat. I think it's been good.
It's all right. We can talk.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
But I just want to say, and thank you to everyone for having me on.
Cheers, brother.
And
back to Lucent. Back to Xenotype.
Get it to 470 backers by tomorrow. That would be really awesome.
Yeah,
right,
and
guys,
get me to 575. I'm 1 off 575.
Boom. Yeah, there you go. Xenotype. Absolutely. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hail the chat.
Bye.
Finally, I can give